All right. What's up, y'all? What's good, man? I got my boy Tom Ross in the building.
What's
Ross,
up?
what's
What's
up,
up? What's
man?
up? What's up, man? Let's get right into it, man.
Okay,
Lot of stuff going on. BBL Drizzy, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark,
hmm,
Ryan Garcia, and the Devin Haney fans trying to reject that L. Let's get into it.
man. I want to start off with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Okay, it's a very obvious elephant in the room with that situation. Um, Angel Reese is black. Caitlin Clark is white. Angel Reese was seventh in the draft. Caitlin Clark was number one in the draft. Caitlin Clark, all she could do is shoot from the outside when she has a streak going. She's not even fire like that. She's not even a Stephen Curry. But she has her moments. How is somebody like that a number one fucking pick when you have Angel Reese who won a national championship, and on top of that, Angel Reese beat Caitlin Clark in a national championship game. And here's the thing: Caitlin Clark did beat Angel Reese the next year, but she didn't beat Angel Reese in a national championship game. And she lost the national championship game back to back years.
Back
So
to back.
she's really like, what was the name of that quarterback that was with the Buffalo Bills? They used to go up against Dan Marino back in them days.
Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly. So she's really a Jim Kelly of the world. So how does a mediocre Jim Kelly, Karen Type, get the opportunity of being a national championship list winner, list, i.e., loser, get number one in the draft pick over a girl, over a woman, over a beautiful black queen that won a national championship game? She has a ring to certify that.
Yeah.
So I want you to elaborate on that, man. What is going on with America rearing its prejudice and racist head all over again?
Well, Jim Kelly ain't mediocre, bro. Mediocre is like Kirk Cousins. Nigga get paid top dollar to do absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? Joe Kelly was a great quarterback. He just never got over the fucking hump. That go to show you that
Mhm.
winning a Super Bowl ain't easy as people make it. Um, but what's your the fundamental premise of what you're saying? I get is she isn't that much better, if at all better than Angel Reese, to be getting that type of prestige that they put on her name. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to spark interest in the WNBA. And they're drumming up interest because they
Mhm.
created the Larry Bird Magic Johnson dichotomy with the races, but where they're messing up is
Mhm.
they're messing up by not letting it play out. They're trying to dictate how people should think, how people should feel. They're messing up by not letting it play out, and they're messing it up by coddling Caitlin Clark. They're coddling her. She gets fouled. They expect flagrant fouls when she gets fouled. She gets fouled hard.
Mhm.
They expect people to get kicked out the game, whereas they don't have that energy for everybody. And the thing about it
Exactly.
is, once someone's already been coddled in college, and then they come and they get coddled in the league, you're taking away. You're hurting their legacy. You're making people who don't have a problem with Caitlin Clark now have a problem with her because of the way y'all coddling her. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I can't even come out and say and blame this on her. They're doing this, and it's not just the WNBA; it's the media. And what they're
Mhm.
doing is they know if white men come out and say this, it's going to sound racist. So what they do is they pay sellout sellouts like Emmanuel Acho, like Charles Barkley, to say these things that they really want to say. They've been hiding behind black sellouts for a minute. Stephen A. Smith is the chief of them, right? He says
Mm-hmm.
the things that white men want to say, but they don't want to be called out for saying it. And the biggest narrative is that all the black this is what they want to say. All the black women are hating on Caitlin Clark, and they need to welcome her in. And basically what they're saying is, y'all, if y'all know what's best for y'all, y'all should let her succeed, because her succeeding is going to be better for the WNBA. They're saying they're not calling her out for not winning games or struggling. They're calling the league out for playing defense too hard on her.
So basically, it's okay for her to be 1-5. It's okay for her to be mediocre as hell. It's okay for her to not really be putting up points like that, not really be fired like that. Angel Reese's stats are definitely better than hers when you look at her stats. Not to say that Angel Reese's stats is like the greatest stats there is, but as a rookie, that's what you expect. You expect as a rookie, you're going to go through growing pains. You know, they got on Diana Taurasi when Diana Taurasi told her this is the next level. This is another level. So she's going to struggle. And Caitlin Clark and them had to come out their mouth and not realize that the struggle was going to actually happen.
Right.
And I don't like Caitlin Clark's reaction to it, because she's doing what a Drake of the world is doing. She's basically using, or LeBron James of the world is doing, she's using her fans as a shield, when she herself should agree with someone that's already been there and done that. Someone of Diana Taurasi's prestige that has won at that level. Mind you, she's won national championships in college. Mm-hmm. She's won WNBA titles. So I would think that she knows what she's talking about a thing or two when it comes to in relation to her telling you this is not going to be easy. And Diana Taurasi's teammate, Brittany Griner, said the same thing too. She got flack for it. So anyone that says anything that's going to challenge the ideology that Caitlin Clark is going to have issues, which she is showing that she's having issues, even in that fucking game that she supposedly hit those long shots, and then she's like posturing, trying to do her little Stephen Curry bullshit and run to the other side of the floor. She shot horribly in that game. She was 5 for 17 in that game. And no one talks about that.
Right, because thing is, they wanted her to come out the gates. They don't want to build the WNBA, the next generation, on Angel Reese. Is basically what they're saying. They want to build it on a white girl. They want to build it on Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark is not performing. And people are going to have bad shooting nights. What's really hurting her game is how much she turns the ball over. She's averaging 8 turnovers a game. If you average 8 turnovers a game, you got to have at least 16, 17 assists. That's just to even things out. You can't be averaging 8 turnovers a game and expect to win. She's the reason why her teams are losing. Just like LeBron. People don't understand. LeBron is the reason why his team lost those many finals. If you go look at the stats, he was averaging 7 to 8 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
You can't win like that. When you're the primary ball handler, you just can't win like that. You cannot turn over the ball, man. And so the WNBA doesn't want to build around Angel Reese. So since they don't want to build around Angel Reese, they have to turn a blind eye to her bad games. What they need to do is just celebrate the people who are playing good. There's a girl, her name eludes me right now, but there's a young lady that plays for Minnesota, averaging 25 points a game, and I don't even know her name right now because they don't talk about it enough. She's averaging 25 points a game. They're supposed to make her a bona fide star, but she's not white. Why is that? Why didn't Maya Moore get the same love that Maya Moore is leagues better than Caitlin Clark? Why didn't she get this love? Why didn't they welcome Maya Moore like this?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? They want to build on white women, but let's be honest, white women, they might watch her games, but white women don't watch the WNBA. They might watch that one woman's games, Caitlin Clark's. So you can't build around that. Everybody knows if you want to sell something in America, you sell it to niggas. Everybody know that. If they want the WNBA to turn up, then you do exactly what Jackson State did. You do exactly what Colorado State did. You sell it to black people.
Yep.
WNBA is behind on their marketing, man. They need me.
Yep. And it's crazy that you say that because the thing about it is we've ushered into a situation where it's just appalling that here we are in 2024 and we're dealing with the dichotomy that has always been around, and it's the color dichotomy of white and black. And Angel Reese is black, Caitlin Clark is white, and Caitlin Clark gets preferential treatments that Angel Reese cannot dare get. I mean, even when Angel Reese was graduating college, they were basically being so disrespectful with talking about, well, what about her GPA? But she graduated within 4 years.
Right. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
You never
Caitlin
heard
Clark,
nobody.
on the other hand, is still yet to have a degree. But no one talks about that, though.
You never hear anybody bring up degrees when it comes to athletes.
Exactly.
Michael Jordan left Michael Jordan didn't graduate, did he?
No.
He left when he was like a senior, a sophomore, or a junior, or something like that. Got him out of there.
He graduated so many years later, but no one talked about that.
Yeah, like, bro, nobody cares.
He left, I think, in his third year.
Well, people don't realize that college is something you do when you don't have an avenue to better your life. So you go to college and then hopefully you get the degrees to better your life. Some people don't got to go to college. Some people have trades. Some people go off to the military. Some people know how to do stocks. They don't need college.
Yeah.
College ain't something that you supposed to just be doing. And then, you know, if you go to college, then you get an opportunity to become a multimillionaire by playing basketball. Who cares if you go back to college? They be going back to college for their mamas and shit. Their mama be like, oh, always want you to go to college. They go back and finish for her. Them niggas really don't be caring about that shit, because if that was the case, they wouldn't leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, college ain't as important as they make it seem. They only doing that because it's a black woman. Since when they do that?
Exactly.
Talk about GPAs and shit like that.
Exactly. But my thing is, why focus on Caitlin Clark's GPA as if that has anything to do with her?
Angel Reese. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about Caitlin Clark when they were saying her GPA is close to 4.0. Like, that has something to do with her basketball game.
Right, what does that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
I'll tell you why they got
basically with Caitlin Clark, they used her GPA as a way to say she's intelligent. But Angel Reese, they were trying to basically use her GPA to basically say she's dumb as hell. That's what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
but the thing about it is, Angel Reese graduated within the 4 years. Like, she graduated on time. And guess what? No one talks about the fact that Caitlin Clark has yet to get her degree, because she said it out of her own mouth. She has not gotten her degree yet. Right. So are we going to sit here and say that you didn't graduate on time? Like, why are they not talking about that?
And you know what? Whatever they're not talking about, we have to make an issue about. But here's the reason why they do that. They've been doing that. They've been doing, when it comes to athletes, they've been doing that from the dawn of the time. First of all, basketball, football, baseball, all this shit is just sports. And you can have sports intelligence that don't translate to actual intelligence in real life. When there's a white player, they always trying to say the white player is intelligent. If a white player is good, it's because they're smart. If y'all press 3, if y'all fucking agree. If a white
Press
player
3
is
if we
good
motherfucking agree.
at anything athletic, they don't say he's athletic. Notice they hardly ever say white person athletic. They'll say he's intelligent. When a black person is smart playing the same sport, they'll say he's athletic. They'll never give respect to that man's mind. Never.
Facts.
Never. You know what I'm saying? And they do that for a reason because it goes all the way back to evolution. The study of evolution says the less athletic a person is, the more smart they have to be. That's what evolution says. So basically, what they were trying to say was black people are more athletic naturally, so that means white people are more smart naturally. But that's not the case. Two things could be correct at the same time. I could be more athletic and I could be more smart than you. And everything, even athletics, is brain function. Even super athletic people have stronger brain function. That's what people don't understand. Everything comes from your brain. Your brain sends the electrons and the neurons to activate your muscles and all that to control your body. If you don't have no access to your brain, you can't do none of the athletic shit. You know what I'm saying? All that's out the window. So when they do that, they show their hand into the racism, the trope they're trying to dig into, and the trope they're digging into is automatically, if somebody's white playing sports and they're good at it, that means it's because of their intelligence and they're more smarter than the black people. That's what they're saying at the end of the day.
Facts.
And Clark, she's already a non-factor. They're 1-5, and she averages 8 turnovers a game. If she don't know how to, if she don't learn how to play within the system and play actual basketball, because in the WNBA, people don't realize. I'm gonna say this, people gonna get upset. The WNBA plays better basketball than the actual NBA. The NBA is just more, the actual NBA is just more athletic, and they do things that girls can't. But as far as decision process and playing as a team, all the WNBA teams play like a Greg Popovich ran team.
Exactly.
They all play a system that works. It's either they hit the shot or they miss the shot. Only in the NBA do one nigga take on 5 niggas and shoot a 3 from half court and shit. You know what I'm saying? If she don't learn how to play with the WNBA style way of playing basketball and take better shots and realize this ain't college, you can't have 8 turnovers and still win, she's gonna struggle.
Exactly.
She's gonna struggle.
And my thing is, why give her so much media attention when she doesn't even deserve it? And that's the problem with a bunch of athletes. They give them this hoopla, right? As if they've arrived, as if they've done something of notoriety, as if they've done something that is noteworthy, as if they've done something that says they're worth everything that they are from a popularity standpoint. I can never understand that. What have you done? You're a rookie. You haven't done anything. You haven't won no WNBA title.
Hey, but I'll tell you what this is about. You know what this is about? I guarantee you. I ain't even looked this up. I guarantee you she got some contracts either out or about to come down the pipeline. And when you if she got a big Nike contract or a big or whatever, she has a big contract worth hundreds of millions of dollars, that's who they push. They pushed LeBron so heavy because LeBron even came to the league, he had a Nike contract, a huge one. And Nike kind of owns the league when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Notice, if Steph Curry would have signed with Nike, Steph Curry would his legacy would be talked about even more. He signed with Under Armour. If you would have signed with Nike, they'll be shitting on LeBron right now. Yeah. Because LeBron let Steph Curry have 4 championships on his watch. But he signed with Under Armour. Under Armour don't got that pull like that. You know what I'm saying? When you sign with certain brands, you come in the gate getting respect, you know, that you don't necessarily deserve or haven't earned yet. Kawhi Leonard signed with New Balance. Those things matter when it comes to publicity. You know what I'm saying? Because those people, they got so much money, they could pay ESPN to say whatever they want to say.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Think about it. These guys on ESPN are not as stupid. They're not that stupid. If we can see something, they can see it. they don't say the things that's obvious because they're getting paid to say the opposite of it. That's why.
No, they're just waiting for her because this is what the media does, and they have a notoriety for this. They'll pump somebody until they realize they can't pump the person anymore. But when it's time for them to not pump the person anymore, they go against the person in such a vitriol way that you would have said to your mind, damn, wasn't they supportive of this person? Now all of a
Right.
sudden they're so against the person. That's how it is. It's two extremes. It's never balanced. There's never no homeostasis with them. It's either they are with the person 1,000%, or they are completely diametrically opposed to the person. Just like LeBron now, they're so against him now. Everything with him is the longer he stays in, the more he's going to tarnish his NBA career.
Oh, yeah.
And with
Yeah, but
Caitlin Clark in the beginning, it's more of okay. And this is what I think it is. A lot of white athletes have not been getting press as of late. So they get a Joker in the NBA, they get a Caitlin Clark of the WNBA, and now they have to push these folks heavy. And let's be honest, it's not like we have not seen white basketball players that are way more talented than Joker. Larry Bird was way more talented than him. Dirk Nowitzki was way more talented than them. Did those guys get the same level of press that a Joker got? I beg to differ. When you look at Caitlin Clark, in her draft, she's not even the most talented player in her fucking draft. The second pick is arguably better than her. Angel Reese is definitely better than her. And you could tell because they're already making immediate impacts on their team. This is how you could tell the productivity of a basketball player. It's based on how they can impact their team.
right.
And if they can impact their team immediately and they don't have to go through no growing pains and struggling, that means that player is better. There's just no way around it. So Caitlin Clark struggling is because Caitlin Clark has deficiencies. And that's why she's struggling at the next level. Let's
She's
just
not
call it what it's paid.
she's not fundamentally sound.
Yep.
She's getting by off just pure athletics, and it's another level. You can't do that shit in the WNBA. You
Nope.
had her mid range. What she don't realize is a lot of those threes she's taking, she's gonna have to pass up and shoot mid range jump shots.
Yep.
They already hyper. They're already hyper aggressive against you defensively because they know you're gonna pull the three. How about you
Mm-hmm.
catch, pump fake, one dribble, two dribble, get around, shoot the mid range jumper. You're gonna be wide open because they running at you. Because they know you're gonna shoot the three.
Yep.
Half fake, and then get a wide open shot or penetrate and pass the ball. Um, you she's so set on trying to give the fans what she gave them in college, but she don't realize is that's gonna come later. We know you can shoot those
Mm-hmm.
long threes, but if that's not winning games, you got to change it up. You got to change it up. That's not winning games, and her it's not even her ball handling skills; it's her decision process. For her
Mm-hmm.
to be as smart as they're saying she is, she don't make good decisions with the ball. The type of passes she's trying to get off, she's trying to do everything she's trying to do. She's trying to make a highlight every time she touches the ball. Basically,
Yeah.
every time she touches the
Yep.
ball, she's trying to make a highlight.
Yep. And the thing about it is, what people got to understand is, will she succeed at the next level? That remains to be seen. We don't know if she's gonna succeed or not. No one here is attacking her as a basketball player. What we're saying is she doesn't deserve the praise that she's getting right now. She hasn't done anything to deserve that. And
Yeah,
that in of itself should tell people that, you know what? Why is this chick a number one pick? What did she do in college? Besides have the last year that she had, what did she do in college to deserve the number one pick over the other six top picks? Because I don't see it. I can argue that the other six top picks did better than her to deserve that number one spot. But they gave it to her because this goes back to a quintessential thing. America rearing its ugly head of being prejudiced and racist. I remember waking up and we were talking about it before I went to do the live. I had to tell myself, are we going back again to prehistoric times again? Are we going back to a place where they're saying, you know what, fuck it, we just wanted the world to be like this again, to where we're just gonna blatantly put this in your face and we don't give a fuck? Because I think the problem is they're so tired of black athletes dominating over and over and over and over again. And there is no white athlete that comes through the cracks anymore. Because remember, they were coming through the cracks every so often, and they haven't. So what have they decided? Let's start manufacturing the mediocre ones and make them seem like they're more than meets the eyes. Because when I look at Caitlin Clark, I don't see nothing special. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't see number one. Can she prove it down the road? Can she show that down the road?
She
More than
hasn't been
likely,
showing
she
it so
probably can. But for right now, I don't see no number one pick, man. And people have to be honest. She's mediocre right now. Her team sucks. They're one of the worst teams in the WNBA right now.
right.
And she's
Yeah.
the one that they're saying is the number one pick. Number one
Press
pick.
3 if y'all agree. Press 3 if y'all
three.
agree.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Make sure you guys donate to motivate. We got the Cash Apps up. Money sign that heat and that fire. Money sign Ace Money Chai. But anyways, back to the point of what I was saying with her. If Kwame Brown's going to get the flack that he gets for being a number one pick, she has to get the flack that she's getting for being a number one pick. This is what comes with being a number one pick. When Anthony Edwards balls out of control, everyone is basically, well, not me and you, but all of these media people on this dude's dick. Hey, Anthony Edwards is balling. He's doing this. He's doing that. But when he doesn't ball, like for instance, now against Dallas Mavericks, I mean, he's going up against a team that has been in the playoffs, that has had chemistry and cohesion for years. No one wants to talk about that. And this is the first time that Minnesota Timberwolves are doing what they're doing. So you would think that he would get some slack for that. No, they're basically saying, hey, he's nutting it up. But you know why? Because he was a number one draft pick.
Yep.
I'm saying that this he was a number one draft pick. So he's getting the pressure of being a number one draft pick. So when a number one draft pick gets that pressure, you have to apply that same number one draft pick pressure to Caitlin Clark when she's not delivering. That is what comes with being a number one pick. I'm sorry.
Yep. Anthony, when it comes to Anthony Edwards and players like Anthony Edwards, they need real coaches. Anthony Edwards should not be able to tell the coach who he's going to guard. Sometimes you can't guard the best athletic. You can't guard the best because the best player on the Dallas Mavericks is not Luka Doncic. It's Kyrie Irving. He's the best player. Kyrie Irving has to play point guard, so he can't just shoot 30, 40 times a game. If your team depends on you dropping 50 points, 40 points, you can't guard. You can't guard Kyrie because you ain't gonna be able to perform on the other side.
Yeah.
See, the Lakers didn't need Kobe when they played against Philly. They didn't need Kobe to drop 30 to beat that team. So they was able to put Kobe on Iverson. And you know Kobe's numbers were low. While his numbers were low, he had to chase around the best small guard in the league. That takes away your legs. It's hard to score when you got to play that type of defense. If they start turning around, I guarantee it'll be because they took Anthony Edwards off of Kyrie. They're not going to win Anthony Edwards playing guarding Kyrie. They're just not. Because they need Anthony Edwards to score at least 35 just to be in the game.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean? I agree with that. But it's a twofold for me. I agree with that premise of what you're saying because it makes sense logically. But here's the thing. Once people start comparing you, this is the problem when people start doing that comparison. And when people start doing that comparison, you got to start living up to that shit. When people start saying, okay, this is probably the next coming of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, blah 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 blah. Maybe Anthony Edwards feels like that. Maybe he doesn't. I'm not in his mind. But if that comparison starts to become a thing, what is the common denominator? Anthony Edwards is a great defender. And see, Jordan and Kobe, they never shied away from the defensive assignments.
That's not
I
true.
look at it like this.
Jordan
You're
didn't.
right.
Jordan didn't
He
always guard the
shouldn't,
best player on the other team.
he
That's
shouldn't
not
have
true.
to be guarding Kyrie Irving the whole game.
Yeah. Scottie Pippen guarded the majority of the best players on the other team.
He shouldn't have to guard the best player the whole game, but he has to show that he can guard that guy at least a quarter, at least, because that's what Jordan and Kobe did. If they didn't guard that guy the whole game, they were guarding that guy at least one quarter. They were proving one quarter of basketball that they were an elite defender on that guy. He doesn't have to be the whole game, but he has to show that.
I think no
He's
guy.
He's their best perimeter
I don't think
defender.
no guy that big should be guarding Kyrie. Anthony Edwards should be guarding Luka Doncic.
But who's going to guard Kyrie then? So
Kyrie's going to get off. They can win if one of them get off. They can't win if both of them get off.
Okay.
You let Kyrie get off. You shut down Luka, because Luka plays with his ego. Luka wants to be.
What you're basically saying is switch Anthony Edwards off of Kyrie
To put him on Luka
let
Doncic.
Kyrie go off, but then go to Luka. But Kyrie's more dangerous than Luka because Kyrie can kill you in the more dangerous moments.
Facts, but what I'm trying to tell you is Luka Doncic don't have the IQ that they say he does. Kyrie has the IQ to say, I don't got it going. I'm going to give the rock up. Luka Doncic is going to try to force his game against Anthony Edwards because he's going to think he's supposed to score against Anthony Edwards. He's going to be turning the ball over.
Okay, so you gave me an idea. And I
think he's going to be turning the ball over.
Anthony Edwards should guard Luka the first 3 quarters to keep his legs because Luka's not going to be as draining offensively on his legs as Kyrie. But then in the 4th quarter, they should switch him and put him on Kyrie. That way he has the legs to be able to guard Kyrie in the 4th quarter. That's what I would do because you don't want Kyrie going off on the 4th quarter because he's the most dangerous guy in your 4th quarter. Like you're going to have to put some kind of defense on him. You can't just let him just run wild.
Right. Whoever's guarding Kyrie, they're not going to be able to guard him one-on-one regardless. They need to be trapping him to get the ball out of his hands as soon as he gets it and make the ball go around. At least make everybody touch the ball again. He's just getting the ball at the top of the key and just blowing past dude because he's way faster than him and scoring. It's so easy right now. He looks like Isaiah Thomas out there. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So they need to be trapping Kyrie no matter who they got on him. If you ask me, man, if they don't switch, it's going to be a sweep. Straight up. If they don't switch,
I agree with the substitution of him being on Luka. But I could see it, him being on Luka for 3 quarters. I don't know. That's the way I see it. Him being on Luka for the first 3. And then, because like you said, Luka has a mental lapse issue. So if he can do hellified defense on Luka for 3 quarters, you basically take him out of the game because he's going to feel like he's a non-factor for most of the game. So he's definitely not going to show up in the 4th quarter. And then when that happens, make the switch and then have him on Kyrie in the 4th because of the problem of this. Kyrie Irving is not a guy you want scoring basketballs in the 4th quarter, man. He's intangible. His intangibles are off the charts. I'm not saying no one could stop Kyrie.
If I thought Anthony Edwards could guard him, I would say so, but I don't think he could guard him no matter what.
But I don't think think he can shut him down. But there is such a thing as limiting someone. I think I think with the length and everything, he could probably pose as a limit. Yes, if you put him in occasional moments, not the whole game. I think the problem is they're putting him on Kyrie so much that Kyrie's just wearing him out. You got to put these guys on guys in situational moments. The reason why Kobe and Jordan was so effective defensively on guys is because Phil Jackson understood how to put them on those guys in situational moments. And those games that Kobe did score a lot of points against the Philadelphia 76ers, those were games where he wasn't on Allen Iverson the whole game. It was Tyronn Lue. Right. So they needed Kobe to score. But Kobe got on him when it mattered the most, the 4th quarter. That's why I'm saying that. Like, make sure you make the switch to get that guy on that guy when his legs are fresh so that he can at least limit. because no matter how unstoppable a player is, there are certain defenders that are good enough to at least limit the guy. You're not going to shut the guy down, but you want to slow down some of that momentum. And when I'm looking at the perimeter on the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards just happens to be the best defender. So you want your best on the best. I mean, that's just the way it rolls when the game is on the line. You don't want it to be a situation where you're looking back and you're like, damn, in the fourth quarter, Kyrie cooked us, but we didn't even have our best defender on him. Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, I agree. Don't have him on Kyrie Irving the whole game. Have him guarding Luka, because you made a great point with that. But I think that should just be the first 3 quarters. Because Luka's the type of player, if you get him out of the game, his rhythm's going to be off. Luka, to me, and I know there's some Mavs fans here. They're going to be upset when I say this. I've always held that stance. Luka, to me, is overrated, man. He's not what Kyrie Irving is. Luka's just overblown.
And that's the thing about the NBA. That's the thing about the media, sports media. The sports media overblown certain people so much to the point it makes it hard for you to even give them the credit that they actually deserve. Luka Doncic can play. The shots he hits, LeBron would never hit those shots or even take them. He's a better offensive player than LeBron James is. He could play. He's just not what they're saying he is. They're trying to make it seem like he fucking Larry Bird or something. You know what I'm saying? He's not that, but
you know what's the trip part about it?
He could definitely play.
What's the difference between him? This is what makes me laugh. What's the difference between him and James Harden when James Harden was in his prime? To me, he's like a white James Harden, because James Harden was putting up all those same stats that Luka was putting up. But you know what? The media made sure they found a way to be polarizing against James Harden for the same thing that Luka's doing that is James Harden-ish. It's the same thing they're getting after him about. And see, when folks say someone is better than Larry Bird, you really don't know basketball. Where's the proof? Where's the NBA championships to show that?
Luka Doncic is not better than Larry Bird, man.
I mean, this is
y'all
ridiculous.
Realize this generation, I'll say since 2000 and
that's the dumbest shit I've heard, by the way.
2015, this been a volume. It's been a volume league. It's been like all the Wilt Chamberlain numbers, they're fluff. Because they used to get up and down the court. They would have like 120 possessions a game. Like 110 possessions a game. You don't score that many points when you get up and down the court. It's the same style of basketball now, except they just shoot threes. They got so many possessions. They're going to score and have a lot of assists. But Larry Bird was having all those assists and all those rebounds, all those points in an 80 possession league. 83. You get 82 possessions the most. He was doing all that shit with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's Larry Bird was doing all that in the slower, tougher leagues. But Luka,
where they actually played defense, they were physical. Guys were getting in your stuff. So imagine if Larry Bird had what this league had.
A prime Larry Bird would be
cooking. What would he be averaging? Let's be honest. Larry Bird be averaging 50 points per game easily, man.
He'll be cooking. I don't know about 50, because if 45, 50, that's like Kobe Bryant, like Jordan numbers. He'll be averaging at least 35, 37 points a game on y'all ass, boy. Like, easy. What game winners? Walk-off game winners. You know what I'm saying? It'll be hard. It'll be hard out there for these guys, man. Because most of these guys don't have no mid-range game.
Facts.
So if you run them off the free throw, if you run them off the 3-point line, they got to come all the way to the basket to score.
Facts.
Easy. So imagine if you run them up the free throw line, you run them up the 3-point line, then you got somebody waiting on the elbow for them to pick them up. Man, these guys aren't really as good as people think they are. It's just they're more in the game's more entertaining now to younger fans.
Facts.
They're more entertaining than younger fans. It's kind of like Drake right now. Drake isn't that good of a rapper. He just makes music that's easy to digest because he ain't really talking about shit.
Yep, I agree with that. The experience is not an enjoyable experience as it relates to Luka and the way he plays basketball. I mean, he plays in a very overrated way. He plays it in a very inflammatory way. He just plays basketball no different to me than the way James Harden plays basketball. I'm sorry. I don't see no difference between their style. So when I see the flack that James Harden gets, and James Harden has put up, he's hit the record books, man. That's why I keep mentioning James Harden, because like Luka, before Luka was doing all these record book numbers or whatever, James Harden was hitting the record books, profiting off of this high possession NBA too.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what they kept saying? Oh, he's an isolation basketball player. They kept putting him in polarizing and negative boxes that they should have put Luka in too, but they didn't. But there's the common denominator. And the common denominator in the Luka and James Harden situation is no different than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And you want to know what that is? Luka's fucking white.
What?
And James Harden is black. Let's just be honest, man.
Yeah.
And you know when Luka has the decline that James Harden has, because they're both offensively oriented players, right? But they are defensively deficient. Luka's not going to get the same flack on his decline as James Harden. They're going to actually be graceful in their criticisms of Luka. Whereas you see James Harden, they're heavy-handed with the criticisms.
Right. What they're gonna do with Luka is they're gonna LeBron James him. They're gonna say he doesn't have enough help.
Yep.
He don't have enough help. He could have 20 turnovers in the game, miss the game-winning shot. They're gonna be like, man, if these guys would have hit their shots, then when it came down to Luka taking the last second shot. And whenever somebody is trying to alleviate you from doing what you're paid to do when you're the star player, you're not like that.
Yeah. Because they're pudgy basketball players. When I look at Luka and I look at James Harden, they are what you call pudgy basketball players that you could tell they have amazing off seasons in terms of partying and doing all kinds of shit. Because I don't see, when I look at Luka Doncic, I'm like, is he really a basketball player? Because basketball players, they usually have muscle definition in their arms, man. That's how you could tell basketball players. They're lean and you could see muscle. When I look at him, I don't see no muscle. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between his arm and a female's arm. At least James Harden has some kind of muscle definition in his arm. But they get on James Harden for looking a little pudgy. And he has looked pudgy at moments. But he still looked even in more shape than Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic looks super pudgy out there. Have you ever looked at a picture of Luka Doncic in his European pro days? The dude had a skinnier face, leaner frame. He actually did look like a basketball player. He's gotten away for years of being in the NBA looking pudgy and looking chubby, man. But no one talks about that.
They ain't gonna talk about it. They ain't gonna talk about it because this generation of people who keep it with basketball, they don't even watch the games. Basketball is at its worst viewership wise. They don't even watch the game. Niggas watch the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
The highlights of games get more views than the actual games nowadays, man.
Yeah.
So niggas they don't watch the game, so they don't care about physical prowess. They don't care about defense. They don't care about nothing, man. People don't really start watching the NBA until the playoffs come, really. Yeah. Like it's a joke. Like people who are fans of the NBA today, they're not true fans. Because I remember being a fan and holding. I wasn't when you was a fan, you wasn't a fanboy. You would hold people accountable. Michael Jordan used to have those dumbass 9 or 24 games. I just be like, man, fuck was he doing? Taking all those shots, man, pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like in Chicago, we was never diehards. Like Jordan could do no wrong. So sometimes when you from Chicago, you talking to somebody who's a Jordan fan outside of Chicago, y'all see Jordan two different ways. You know what I'm saying? Chicago people don't see Jordan like people outside of Chicago see Jordan. You know what I mean? It's like the suburbs. People who live in the suburbs of Chicago, they see Jordan as if he can't do no wrong. But people in Chicago be like, man, dude can't keep missing all these damn shots, man. You know what I'm saying? He never got to the point where he won so many championships that he didn't get held accountable. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, what's up with Mike? Like when we played against Seattle in the in the finals. Jordan struggled in those finals, man. He shot like 40% or some shit like that. We was like, yo, what's up with this dude? He gonna cost us. He gotta get his shit together. He gonna cost us the finals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but this generation here, they'll make an excuse. They'll be like, oh, it wasn't Jordan. It's not because he missed all those shots. It's the role players when they came in, like they only score their averages. They gotta step it up. Like role players are supposed to score their averages. That's it. That's all role players are supposed to do. Is score their averages. They're not supposed to give you 30. You get lucky when you get 20 from a role player.
Yeah.
The main player is supposed to be the ones performing night in and night out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right about that, man. You make a great point with that. Let's switch gears, man, and let's talk about BBL Drizzy for a while, man. What's your take on this whole dude with getting BBL in his abs, man? What is this world coming to, man? Because we knew BBL was a thing that women were doing. I didn't know men were doing BBL.
Yeah.
I didn't know that men were doing BBLs as of late. So talk to me, man.
Drake comes off as somebody who never truly held accountable his whole life. So, and he moves like that too. If people who are not held accountable, when somebody try to hold them accountable, they go and do what you hold them accountable right away to let you know, like you can't tell me anything. He's already been exposed for doing the BBL and getting his abs etched. So what he does now, he jumps on the song, talk about his BBL, and tries to redirect the song and say, nah, it's not BBL King, it's Bad Bitches Love Drizzy, and I'm the BBL King because I get all the bad bitches BBLs. Like, bro, just take your L, man. He's giving his own self more L's by not taking his L.
Exactly.
The people need to understand the beauty of knowing you lost. Like Kendrick said this. Kendrick said, I discover myself when I fall short. That's so profound. People don't understand. Taking a loss ain't the end of the world. You discover who you are. You discover your limits. You discover where you need to be when you take a loss. Like, bro, he's trying to fight against this loss. So coming out and rapping on the BBL Drizzy beat and talk about you the BBL Drizzy King because you get the other bras BBLs, you're proving Kendrick's point that you're fake and you fraudulent. Niggas don't want women with BBLs. We want women to get their shit together, get in shape. They don't gotta have perfect shape, but have a real butt. These white girls.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just want to make one interjection. I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why there's a part of the reason why the BBL is so famous is because, and you know this, because you be so disgusted and repulsed with these dudes. There's a lot of dudes that like that shit, bro. Because when females are doing shit and they're not getting
money like that shit.
Yeah, when females are doing shit and they're not getting, and they're not, and you see the culture is moving in that direction, a lot of times, a lot of men don't hold themselves accountable for that shit, but it's because they're allowing it to happen because they are accepting it. I've heard out of dudes' mouth, oh, the faker, the better. Oh, that BBL look good. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That woman has something fake inside of them. What the fuck are you talking about?
They say that because they're living in a fantasy. Women who get BBLs don't even mess with regular niggas. They got the BBL to get a nigga with bread. So unless you talking about niggas who get money like you get money, if you talk about this regular niggas who's broke, they capping. I'll tell you that right now. Well,
but the majority of the people on the planet, whether because I've seen them, there's a lot of girls that, let's be honest, they are not. Their goal may be they're trying to do that to get with somebody, but in reality, they even realize, well, even though I got this BBL, I can't get these kinds of dudes because there's already a certain group of girls that's already getting those dudes. So now they have to deal with the majority of the dudes that don't have the money. So, and these dudes, what I'm seeing is there's a majority of dudes that don't have money like that that they say they love BBL,
Yeah,
and I'm
what
like,
I'm
what
telling
the
you is
fuck?
a lot of niggas speak from their fantasies, bro. Have you seen them niggas that saying that with a girl with a BBL? Nah, they just saying some shit they see on Instagram. Like, man, this bitch
Yeah,
looks bad. They going to jack off and watch that. They ain't cracking
yeah,
them bras, man. Them
yeah.
niggas here, them niggas here, fat bitches thinking about them bras with the BBLs. The bras with the BBLs doing one or two things. They try to chase down a nigga with the bag. They stripping. You might hit a bra with a BBL that strip,
Mm,
or they on Instagram running up a bag. You know what I'm saying? And the same dumb. I give you this. You right on
mm,
one occasion. They ain't actually
mm.
experiencing on women's, but they're giving them the validation through Instagram, through
Yeah,
TikTok, through
yeah,
Twitter, with all
yeah,
these likes. But
yeah.
they ain't. But that go to say that's a fantasy. They ain't experiencing on women, man. Them
I
women,
agree.
you
The majority of
right?
them, I agree. The
Yeah,
majority of them are not experiencing,
they ain't
but I do
experiencing on
believe,
women.
but I believe some of them are. And the reason why I say some of them are is because even the girls, all of these girls that's getting BBLs, the top guys are only going to accept the ones they deem quality BBLs, because there's girls that's getting low rate BBLs and they may not meet the cut. So who they got to deal with now?
Looking
Even though
crazy,
they can't get the rich dude, who they got
looking
to deal with
crazy.
now? They got no choice but to deal with the rest of the
Y'all need
pool.
to press 3 if y'all agree and donate to the Cash App. Looking crazy.
They got to deal with the rest of the pool, because I've seen them at the gym. Guys that, let's be honest, they don't, they just like regular Joe Blows, but you can see the girl that's with them. Usually it'll be a Dominican girl. I hate to say that, but I have to say it because there's truth to it. It'll be a Dominican girl or some girl that background with a BBL. I see this a lot in Alaska. They
Yeah,
they at the
a lot
gym.
of
They
Dominicans.
got a BBL, and then the dude is with them, and the dude look like he weigh about 400 pounds. This dude don't look like he's in the top echelon of whatever.
Oh no no
You
no
get
no
what I'm
no!
saying?
They not doing it. Listen, they not. These bras with the BBLs don't value what we think the bitch supposed to value. A nigga think a
Mm-hmm.
bitch supposed to, especially you, a gym rat nigga,
Mm-hmm.
think a bitch that look that got the BBL supposed to be good trying to find the most muscle nigga, the most handsome nigga. Nah, if that nigga ain't making 100 bands or more, she
Mm-hmm.
don't care.
Mm-hmm.
She don't be with that. You don't know how much money that fat nigga make. That fat nigga probably make buku bread, and
Could
she's
be.
running, up his bag. These
Could
people
be.
they don't have the morality to look for a real man. They ain't looking for that,
Mm-hmm.
because women who
Mm-hmm.
want that don't get BBLs.
Facts.
Women who
I
want
agree
that,
with you. I
women who
agree
want
with you.
that
I
on the
believe what you're
stairmaster.
saying is the. I
They on the
agree with you. I'm
stairmaster
not.
making input
I
from
don't want you to
scratch.
think that I'm disagreeing with you on your point,
You
because
you
you're
can
speaking.
disagree all day. Yeah,
No, but the reason why I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, because what you're saying is true, because you're speaking in general sense. In the
right.
general sense, what you're saying is right. The generality of what you're saying is absolutely correct. What I'm saying is all of those BBL girls can't make the crack of getting those top dudes. So they have to
Not
settle
all
for
of them.
the Joe Blows.
Right, that's a
You
small
get what I'm
percentage
saying?
of it.
They have to
Yeah,
settle with somebody that can only make so much or meet the cut.
right.
And I don't think all of these dudes that's in there are making like top dollars like that. It's just they just happen to get that girl with the BBL. And I'm sure maybe that girl, they probably got that girl before the girl had the BBL. And she probably recently, because that's what I'm noticing too. Because I noticed that, like, I'll see a girl in the gym, she looked normal, and then 7-8 months later there's a BBL. So that you see a lot of that going on too. So maybe he paid for it, or maybe she
See,
got it.
now
It
we
could be
talking the
some shit
same
like
language.
that.
Now we talking the same. There's always an exception to a rule, but the rule don't change because there's one. Because
Yeah,
we know 3 pookies that got a bitch with a BBL, a pretty bitch. That don't change the rule. The rule
right,
is these bras would rather be by themselves than be with a nigga who they can't use for money. That's why
facts.
That's why a lot of them get their TikTok game up and run up a bag. Like the BBL is
Facts.
really a business. It's really a business move, but they don't realize
Mhm,
they selling their soul. They don't realize that because the majority of niggas who think about it. If I met you through if I meet you through TikTok and I meet you and use your body as an asset to make money in a
mhm,
sexual way, then me personally, I can't take you seriously.
Facts.
And you could be a good person. But the fact that you chose that as your job description, I'm thinking like, bro, what if I accidentally get you pregnant? Would you go teach my daughter to use what you have to get what you want? I don't want nobody like that around my kid, bro. I don't want to have kids with nobody who use their body to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can have a good time all day long. You know what I'm saying? But back to Drizzy, what this shows is we have a part of our generation that don't care about what things are. They care about what things look like.
Facts.
They don't care about what things are. They care about what things look like, man. And I'm tired of telling y'all, press 3 if y'all agree, man. Y'all agree with all this shit, but y'all ain't pressing 3, man.
And even more so than pressing 3, where's the cash apps, man? Where's the donations, man? I mean, come on. Donate to motivate. The cash app is up. But go ahead and continue on to say what you were saying, man.
You know what I'm saying, man? Like the reason why I'm telling you press 3 if you agree, the more, instead of just staying here listening to us talk, comment what you, at least if you ain't gonna press 3, comment what you're thinking. The more comments, the more the live stream gets into the algorithm. The more the live stream gets into the algorithm, the more people come into the live stream.
Exactly.
So if you just have a problem with someone telling you to do something, so you just rebellious, nah, I ain't gonna press 3 because the nigga telling me to do so. Okay, don't do that. Just say what you feel in your head when you hear us talk. The comment section should be going up. We should be seeing comments the whole time y'all in here. You know what I mean? Because you obviously thinking about something. We're obviously sparking something in your mind. Put it in the comment section, man. Let the comment section flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just sit up in here and not say anything. Because we're here to have a conversation, not to be clowns and entertain. I don't entertain people. I conversate with people. I give and I take. I don't entertain nobody. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? But back to Drake. The problem
couldn't have said it any better.
The problem with Drake is one of those people who pride leads them. He's led by this pride and his ego, so he don't know when to sit down, man, and go to the drawing board. He should be going to the drawing board, plotting his. He has to re-enter the game now strong. This song that he dropped with Sexy Red is not re-entering the game back strong. What he just did, you just boistered everything that Kendrick just said about you. He said you're a culture colonizer. He said you run to all these different areas and try to blend in with the people. Now you blending in with St. Louis. He said, "Are you doing that? You 30-something years old. Sexy Red 22. Now Drake's down there 40. Sexy Red 22. What do y'all got in common to where y'all been hanging out every day? Unless that's your girl. If that's your girl, they claim it. But I don't hang around with 22-year-old men. I might see them at the bar, have a conversation. I don't have no 22-year-old men I talk to every day. We ain't got shit in common.
Facts.
Majority of my cousins, I'm way older than. I talk to them when we talk to each other, but I don't check in on them every day. What y'all on? What y'all doing? Man, hey man, smoke a blunt for me, man. Blah blah. Like, nah, we don't talk like that because I'm more closer in mentality to my aunties and my uncles than I am to my little cousins.
Facts.
But when you a degenerate, you are a grown man who got more in common. You have more in common with people 10 years younger than you. You're supposed to have more in common with people 10 years older than you, not 10 years younger than you. Or at least be balanced to where you could relate to both. But when you're a degenerate, you want to be around little kids all the fucking time, man. This man, he's 31 years old. He had a 13-year-old Texan buddy. Who does that? That's some pedophile shit.
But see, the thing with Drake is he was put into a box. This is how you know when someone puts you in a box. When you put a person in a box, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. They can't get out of the rabbit hole. Because if he goes the melodies route, it will be proving Kendrick Lamar's point that I like Drake with the melodies, not when Drake act tough. If he goes the route of trying to be tough, then it perpetuates what you talked about, him being a colonizer. So Kendrick hit every point with every beef. The best thing Drake could do, and I agree with Wack 100 when he said that, because I don't agree with a lot of shit that Whack 100 say because I believe he's a dry
I
snitch.
don't agree with nothing. He's way too old to be hanging
But
out 18-year-old kids.
I agree with this element of what he said though. And because I feel like every dog has their day and everyone could say something smart every now and then. The
Well, he
smart
right
thing he
about this
said,
topic.
yeah, the smart thing he said about Drake was Drake needs to go away. Don't push himself out at all because Kendrick basically got him on every element that you can get someone and push somebody else, put somebody else in front and be from afar and let that other artist build up. So basically go behind the scenes because you being in the scenes, you're exposed. So no matter what you do coming back in the scenes, you're exposed from it. But no one's going to be checking for the other artists like they're checking for you because that's a completely different artist because that artist wasn't tampered with. That artist wasn't contaminated by Kendrick Lamar. So because that artist wasn't affected by Kendrick Lamar, the byproduct is that other artists can thrive, even though that other artist is from your banner, and you can build up from there. That's what he needs to do. And when Whack 100 said that, I was like, that's the smartest thing ever. If this idiot is listening, which then this perpetuates what I talked about with his
But guess
ego
what?
and his pride. Then this is the thing when someone is prideful and ego and narcissistic that way, they're not going to listen to advice like that. They're going to think in their mind they can always figure it out.
And he
Because I think
can't.
in his mind, what he's thinking is, I'm the hit maker. I can always drop hits. But the problem is, you've been out hit made now because Not Like Us, look what it done. Euphoria, look what it done. Meet the Grams, look what it done. What's the other one?
Not like
Not Not Like Us. Like That, look what it's done. All four of those have outdone anything Drake is doing. So right now you're being out hit make. So that one bread and butter that you can fall back on, you're not even great with that. So push another artist, go behind the scenes.
Kendrick really just did him bad. He
He
really can't.
dismantled them.
He really can't do anything. He can't even
Yeah.
go away because he doesn't make the type of music that lasts while he away. That why you think Drake always got to keep dropping music? He don't make music that stick to you like that. It's he might have like classic singles, like started from the bottom. Now we here. He got classic singles. He don't make albums that stick to you like that.
Mm-hmm.
He don't make albums that you gotta keep listening over and over and over to get every little nook and cranny and oh damn, this should mean this mean that. He don't make that. You know what a Drake song is the first time listen, so you get everything. He's not really that deep, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
because his music is so easy digestible, it's like McDonald's, it's like fast food. You gotta have it.
Yep.
You when people are hooked on fast food, gotta eat it every day.
Yep.
They can't go without it. You know what I'm saying? Once you get hooked on fat, and the people gotta make it every day. You think McDonald's can shut down? A McDonald's can't shut down for a day.
Nope.
That should be all on the news. If McDonald's shut down for a day all over America, it'll be people fighting and all type of shit because they're addicted to that shit. So I think that when you go, I try not to eat fast food, but every now and then when I'm been drinking, I'll break my fast from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't go in there. I ain't been in no. I don't walk in no McDonald's or no food nowhere. But when I used to, you ever walked into the fast food restaurant and see like it would be like a fat bitch like being ready to fight somebody because ain't no food. The food she ordered there. Y'all think that's because those parasites got her doing that, man.
Yeah, either her or it'd be a fat greasy dude that is annoying.
And they're wilding over over the y'all don't got spicy chicken. Man, what's that's all the parasites. They addicted to that. So imagine if all the Popeyes just shut down across the United States. All the McDonald's shut down. That's how it is for Drake right now, bro. Drake can't shut down because his fan base requires him to drop an album every 6 months because they already tired of the last album.
Mm-hmm.
So he's between a rock and a hard place right now. And when he comes out, and every time you see him now, you see one or two things, and they both bad. You see a child groomer, a potential pedo, or you see a colonizer, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he opens his mouth, it's bad right now for that boy.
Yeah, he got exposed because all he had to do, all he had to do. Some people you don't mess with, and Drake should have just known from the get go that Kendrick Lamar was somebody that he couldn't mess with. I'm gonna tell you like this: Drake, from what I was told, um, and information that I've been listening to, and I'm sure you got the same information from what you've been told, based on the information that you listen to from DJ Academics and from all of these people, Schoolboy Q, and all of that. Apparently, Drake was there at the Dreamville tour when J. Cole did the 7 Mile diss. And I
Mm-hmm.
think what he was doing was he was using J. Cole as the shield. And he was using him as basically, we're going to do a committee 2-on-1 type of situation. But I need you in the race so that we could do it together. J. Cole realized what was about to happen because Schoolboy Q schooled him. Like, yo, you want to get out of this. We know how you are. You're a good dude.
Yeah,
Um, you're
he,
not built for this shit. You're not built for this shit. You're gonna get
he,
run the hell over if you're in the middle of this.
I
So
think he
get the
went out
fuck
like a
out.
bitch though.
And
Yeah,
then J. Cole was like, yeah, you right. I'm not built like this. Let me just get the fuck out the way. Because it would have been a situation where he would have went after both of them and got both of them at the same time. And you could tell Kendrick was ready for both
if you ask
because
me, I would have more respect for J. Cole if he lost than him doing it.
but he
Because
ran the hell over
it's
too.
one thing if you bow out before you drop the disc. You can't drop no disc and then say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I dropped it." 2 days later. That's
Yeah,
like
but
me
J.
saying
Cole,
that's like me coming on here saying the worst thing about you on live, and
mhm,
then you like, you know what? I'm about to drop a disc on Ross, and then
yeah,
I come on, I do a live stream like, hey, he knows, letting you know, man. I ain't mean
yeah,
nothing I said. That was the dumbest thing I ever did. From where I'm from, once you go that far, you can't come back.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But the problem is J. Cole. J. Cole cannot J. Cole cannot deal with a career ending situation like Drake. He just can't. It's way more for him to lose
that's why you keep your
with
mouth
his
shut.
career. It's way more for him to lose on his career than Drake. And he knew
That's why
that.
you watch what you say to people.
Yeah. And
Because
that's
believe it
why
or not, his career still kind of ended. He just dropped a single just now, and people said, "Man,
Mhm.
take that shit back, man. We don't want to hear it." He dropped a single called Grippy, and people like, "Hey, take that back, man. Like Kendrick got you in some panties. You talking about Grippy now? You know what I'm saying?"
Yeah. But if
That's
I
why
was him,
you got to go out on your shield.
if I was him, and that's the problem with these guys, they don't understand how to be strategic. And when you drop a single knowing that you caved in like that, then drop a single that has nothing to do with beef. Just drop a single that's like very general.
Uh,
Why you gonna drop something that's gonna give you some
no,
kind of swag or make you seem like you fire? Like I wouldn't have done that.
that don't got nothing to do. He dropped Grippy is about coochie. It's about sex, but
Mhm.
let's be honest. The women never looked at J. Cole like that. So
But that's what I'm saying.
he's trying to get up his Drake lane, but people don't even want to hear that from Drake right now. Like Kendrick
Yeah.
really made it hard for niggas right now. Like he made out because niggas they should never got into this beef unless they was willing to go all the way. That's one thing about beef. I've seen very few people survive beef like this. And then
Mhm.
and Drake, believe it or not, Drake and Kendrick. I mean Drake and J. Cole. I never believed J. Cole anyway. I never was a fan of J. Cole. I don't believe his raps. I know he's talented. I don't believe his raps, man. Like
Mhm.
I don't believe him. Like he don't move me. But J. Cole, like Biggie was a bona fide like rapper, bro. Cause his beef with Tupac was mainly one sided.
Mhm.
Biggie man did a couple subliminal records. It was mainly Tupac just with his foot on
I
Biggie's
just
neck.
think that J. Cole, I just think this is what I think. And it's okay for guys like that in the industry to exist. They just have their lane. I
But he
just
has to
think
be quiet
J.
and let
Cole's
the
not
people
built like
listen.
that.
Yeah.
He's a good dude that's not built to go the extra mile. He's just that kind of dude that he just wants to rap. That's it. And you're right. He shouldn't have got into the situation. But I also applaud the fact that he realized, okay, you know what? I can't deal with this dude. Let me get the fuck out. Some people, they know they can't deal with somebody, and instead of them getting the fuck out, they want to get into it and make it even worse on themselves. Because that's what Drake is. Drake to me is no different than a D Jefferson. He knows he's outmatched, but then he still want to get into it.
I got to keep it 100 though. Even though Drake took an L, I got more respect for Drake right now than I got for as far as the battle. Not as men. I don't know none of these niggas, not as men. But as far as the battle, I got more respect for Drake because at least Drake said, "Ain't no way in hell I'm letting you get away with that. I'm dissing you back." This nigga's
I think Drake only did that because he had no choice but to do that. But
I mean, there's always a choice. He could have stepped away. He could have stepped away like Kendrick did.
I agree. I agree with the premise of what you're saying. But the thing about it is, the reason why I don't think it's any better with him, he was trying to use J. Cole as a shield, and when that backfired, now he was like, okay, I ain't got no choice but to step into the fight. But I don't think he wanted to step into that fight. I think he was trying to use J. Cole to be the buffer. And when J. Cole didn't be the buffer, there was rumors that they were said that he was mad at J. Cole because J. Cole didn't stay in. That to me is a snaky type person, a slippery type of person. And those types of people are not those types of people. I don't respect those types of individuals too, because you're trying to use someone else to take the lumps while you could still sneak this. That's what he was trying to do, man. And it backfired.
What he was doing was Machiavellian. He was trying to do shit behind the scenes. But one thing that destroys the art of war, one thing that destroys 48 Laws of Power, and one thing that destroys Machiavellian shit is when people are just true and real.
Direct. Yeah.
That destroys all of the conniving, blah, blah. It destroys all that shit.
Because there's no tricks that you could use to get on someone that's like that.
So a nigga who don't give a fuck about what you think about them is willing to say the truth, no matter what. There's nothing you can do.
Because their job is to obliterate everything in sight.
Right. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about the truth, man. The truth going to always set out and accomplish its goal. You know what I'm saying? But
all you can do in that moment is try to weather it. That's all you can do.
If you ask me though, as far as the beef, because people need to realize this, J. Cole's diss is part of the beef.
Yeah.
And his bowing out and saying, "Man, I'm sorry," is part of the beef too. Like, and in the pantheon of all beef, we never had niggas apologize, bro. Like, this nigga made history.
Sometimes dudes understand what's going on, and sometimes dudes know they don't want that heat. They don't want that smoke. I'm sorry, they don't want to deal with it.
The reason why I don't respect J. Cole is because he knew that beforehand. Because whenever you could make a turnaround that quick, because you were just talking Cash Money shit 7 minutes straight. He was talking Cash Money shit. If you could make a turnaround that quick, if you could say the worst shit to me today, and 2 days later make a apologize saying I don't really want that smoke with Ross, that means you knew that from the beginning. And you let somebody put a battery in your back, and now you gotta apologize. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't like that. Don't let nobody put no battery in your back, boy. But I was taught in Chicago, don't write no checks your ass can't cash, man. You have to really watch how you talk to people.
Yeah.
Because then Kanye said it best. He said, "I'll never be a nigga who he said niggas what they saying and can't tell me nothing." He said niggas say such and such and end up apologizing. You know what I'm saying? like bro, like this one thing we have like a back and forth on Twitter. Let's say J. Cole and Kendrick had a back and forth on Twitter and then went too far. That's one thing. But once you put that shit on wax and you really telling people like what you said on wax was Kendrick's his catalog ain't really that good. It's really hyped up by activist niggas. This shit really trash. Like, bro, you say some shit like that and come back. Like, hold on, man. Who put that battery in your back, boy? So now what you're saying is at your age, I think J. Cole like 35, 36 years old. You mean tell me you that old and people still can hype you up to do some shit you know you ain't got no good to do it?
That's crazy, man.
Why?
Wow.
You too old to be getting hyped up to do some shit that you know you should be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He should have just avoided them at all costs, man.
If you know in your heart that you're not ready for it, because thing is, he been knowing Kendrick for a decade now. So you already know he's the type of person that if it go there, he's willing to go all the way. But you know you're not, so you should have been quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Drake, when he entered the beef ground level. His first diss is gonna be about like the woman in your life or your children and shit. So you know he entered the beef going all the way. That's what he does. So you should have known like if it come down to it, you have to stay on the Tribe Called Quest, whatever they call it. I'm just trying to be positive I'm trying to make the best songs that we could. But you can't get on the real nitty gritty Tupac, Biggie, Small shit. You can't get on the Mob Deep shit because you the type of nigga you scary.
Yeah.
You don't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That nigga put a battery in your back and you 37.
Some people shouldn't be even entering in beefs, to be honest with you, man. Right. I don't even know why they even put themselves in that position when you know you're not gonna win. Like you shouldn't just even involve yourself. If you know that you're just not as talented or you're just not as good as the person, there's such a thing called gracefully bowing out, man. If Drake would have just said, you know what, I already see what this dude is trying to do, because trust me, there's an element of his conscience that told him. People could sit here and say that people don't see what people are doing. Everyone has their conscience that talks to them, their inner voice that talks to them and warns them. They either choose to accept to listen or they choose to ignore it.
Right.
And I'm sure his inner conscience was like, yo, don't even entertain this. Just focus on what you're doing right now. Just focus on making the hits. Because I'm going to tell you right now, he would have been better served ignoring Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, people would have been like, oh, he's afraid. He don't want to take the battle. But guess what? He wouldn't have suffered this massive L. Because his fans would have been able to be like, man, he's above that. He's too busy making hits. That's what I would have done in his position. Yeah. I would have just kept sneak dissing and don't fall for the bait. But because of his pride and his ego, he fell for the fucking bait, man. That's what it boils down to. His pride and ego told him that at some point he thought he was fire enough to go after Kendrick. He thought he was fire enough to go toe to toe with Kendrick.
Nah,
that's what happened.
He was on some LeBron shit, and J. Cole was on some D Wade shit. These niggas thought J. Cole, neither one of them really wanted to compete for Kendrick. The only one that really want that smoke to say I'm number one. Yeah. Drake didn't want to compete. J. Cole didn't want to compete. Yeah. Drake was cool with J. Cole because Drake knows I'm more successful than J. Cole. Yeah. I can say he's the best. All I want. Yeah. He on stage like J. Cole, you the greatest who ever did it. You greater than everybody. He can say that all day because he knows he's way more successful than him.
Exactly.
But you know he couldn't do that with Kendrick because even though he's more successful than Kendrick, it's not that much. And Kendrick is lauded as being a better rapper than him by far.
Exactly.
So to try to elude the whole competition altogether, they wanted to be on some we all on the same level type shit. Me, Aubrey, and Kendrick, blah. And unlike everybody else before him, even Jay-Z and them, they used to do this shit. Jay-Z used to be like Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas, or Pac, J, and Big, and shit like Kendrick, the first nigga to all these niggas to say, fuck the big three, don't put me in no big threes, bruh. Yeah. It's just big me, nigga. Yeah. Listen, don't put me in no big threes, nigga. I don't want no parts of those big threes. You know what I mean? And when he did that, it kind of put these niggas in their heart. If they don't answer, they saying, I agree. It's just big you. He put them in the predicament where now they got to make a choice. Cause
Yeah.
this nigga said fuck our collaboration, fuck being on Big Three, fuck a tour. Cause when they was trying to set it up, it's like they wanted to go on tour together.
Yeah.
That's how they was setting it up. Like they wanted to be a J. Cole, Kendrick, and Kendrick. Like, I ain't trying to be like that with y'all. I'm trying to be numero uno. So what's
Yeah,
happening? You
but
know
he
what I'm
always, but
saying?
he set the tone that he always wanted to be numero uno because the control bars. That was the time that he started to let everyone know that there's a separation between me and everybody else. So he let everyone know so many years ago in those bars, and then he just came back with so many years later with Not Like Us and said fuck the big three, it's just big me. It's just a continuation of where he left off in the control. He just picked up from there.
The problem, the problem is most people have a
But
more.
Drake, I could tell Drake's pride and ego because Drake said something after the control verse. Oh, I don't think, like, he would say little things like, oh, I just think Kendrick was playing. I don't think mentioning
Right,
me was this and that. You could tell his pride and ego was hurt. It was
right,
bruised. And he, ever since that control verse, he's been having Kendrick in the back of his mind. Like, man, I want to get this dude. I want to get this dude. He's been seething. But
right.
that's more of a pride and ego thing. But they always tell you, pride comes before a fall, man.
Yeah.
Pride comes before destruction. So he always was prideful in that essence of it. And he was just waiting and buying time because he knew if he ever went one-on-one with this dude, let's be honest, he was afraid. So he was trying to be strategic. And his strategic move, don't get me wrong, that if you look at the move is strategically intelligent. The problem is, in order for it to be effective, you have to be able to get the person to go along. This is where Drake has a problem. Drake is not like someone like me. See, that shit with me, let's just say if I was Drake, that shit would work because anyone that knows me knows I'm really good at proselytizing people. So if I had J. Cole, who I know was under me like that, I would have just D Jefferson him. I'd make him bark, 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 make him feel good, da 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 da. But then I would keep him there the whole time as my buffer while I'm sneak dissing. But the problem with Drake is so, he comes across as so disrespectful. I'm sure he comes across like that even to J. Cole, that even when he was trying to use J. Cole as a buffer, he wasn't effective of keeping J. Cole there as the buffer. But if he was better with his overall personality and the overall way of how he
Everybody
did it,
press 3 if you agree, man. I know y'all ain't here. Comment,
you
press
damn right.
3. We're saying shit y'all want to hear. Let us know that. I know y'all not just listening, not thinking. Tell us what y'all
Exactly.
thinking.
Exactly.
Go ahead, man.
So with him, excuse me, I always sneeze in threes. But with him buffering, if he was excellent at getting at being able to keep people, retaining people, and that's a personality deficiency on his part. That's a personality deficiency trait disorder that Devin Haney has. But if he was effective at doing that, what Devin Haney would have been able to do is Devin Haney would have, I'm saying Devin Haney,
Yeah.
what Drake would have been able to do in regards to J. Cole is Drake would have situated it to where J. Cole would stay there and be that buffer so that he could sneak this all he wants, and then J. Cole takes the lump. Because if I'm looking at it, this is what Drake wanted to do. He wanted to use J. Cole as the shield, as the wall. J. Cole take all the bullets, and then he could hide behind the wall and sneak this all day, every day. And the person who's taking the hits is J. Cole, because the beef, what he's doing is he's positioning J. Cole to be the one to go at Kendrick. And then while Kendrick is eating J. Cole up, he's sneak dissing. So then his fans could be like, ooh, look what Drake doing, because of the fact that Kendrick is so focused on J. Cole. That's what he was trying to do. This shit just didn't work out for him. And when J. Cole pulled out, that's when you could tell the reason why he wasn't ready for the beef. There's a reason for that, because I went back and then looked at it. I'm like, that's why he wasn't ready, because he put all his eggs in one basket. The eggs in the basket was, hey, J. Cole, you be my shield. And when J. Cole could no longer be the shield, he had no more game plan after that. That was the game plan.
He failed. He was doing from the beginning, thinking that could work. Even if he does proselytize J. Cole, wasn't going to work because even J. Cole don't believe he's better than Kendrick.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
he did, they would still he would apologize. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Even J. Cole didn't believe that. So you have to find somebody out there who believes that. He would have to proselytize Jay Electronica. Jay Electronica really believes he's better than Kendrick. Somebody like Lupe Fiasco, but he can't proselytize Lupe Fiasco because he's stupid. But he would have to proselytize somebody like that. People who really think I'm better than this nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But the problem is they don't have the problem with those guys is they don't have the namesake.
They don't got the namesake.
And that would have been the issue.
And the nigga who got the namesake
probably okay. Go ahead.
Who and the nigga who got the namesake don't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he don't believe he's better than that nigga. So if you don't believe it, nobody else gonna believe it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you the one guy he could have gotten, because this guy's been known to go back and forth, and I do believe that this guy, in his mind, he probably would have tried it. Because for some reason this guy always gets with people and then he always ends up having beefs with them. If Drake was able to do features with the game, try to tell the game, hey, look, I'm gonna help you resurrect your career.
The game don't got the namesake.
I'm going to help you resurrect your career. I'm gonna help you build it up, but you go after Kendrick. But I think the game would have been egotistical enough to try to do it.
He's trying to. But the thing is, he can't go after Kendrick because Kendrick at Compton.
Yeah.
You know the game's from Compton.
Yeah.
So I think he really wants to. That's why he got in and started talking about Rick Ross. Because that's his prelude to see what's going on. And nobody was checking for that shit. This and third. And because he can just come out and go against Kendrick from Compton too, and everybody rocking with Kendrick, he would have been even more pariah than what he already is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now you're talking about a game back 10 years ago when we made Hated to Love It. No, 20 years ago we made Hated to Love It and shit. Like,
yeah, I mean that obviously his superstardom was where it was then. But what I'm saying is, if he's gonna use somebody that's gullible enough and that's prideful enough to take on the task and use that person as a shield, even though his notoriety ain't what it used to be, that would have been the person to use. Because J. Cole just ain't built like that. You have to use someone that's built like that, that they don't care if they take the W or the L. They just know they'll come after you. It's like you basically have to find a D. Jefferson of the world. Because say what you want about D. Jefferson, win or lose, he's going to step into the line of fire, right? You need somebody that's going to step into the line. He knew he couldn't handle you, right? But he stepped into the line of fire. I mean, you at least respect him for that.
I respect that.
You got to find somebody that's going to be willing to step in the line of fire.
You know what I'm saying?
J. Cole's just not built like that, man. You could look at J. Cole and tell. I remember when I first heard him rap or whatever, I was like, this dude's a good dude, man. He's not built to be Teflon Don and tough. That's the vibe that I always got from it. He's one of them dudes, because you have dudes like that in the rap that are rappers. They just want to rap. They don't want to be in no drama. They don't want to be in no this. They don't want to be no that. They just want to rap, and they want you to like their raps. That's what I get from him.
Yeah, J. Cole got to go back to rapping about high school crushes and shit like that. Like all that shit he been talking about, how he the greatest, and when he was born, guys started crying, and the thunder and lightning hit the earth, and the earth had an earthquake. He gotta stop talking like that. He can no longer talk like that, bro.
No, because it's not believable. It's not believable.
Well, he turned down that fade.
He pulled out. You can't pulled out of the fade.
Right, you can't talk like that and turn the fade down. You can't do that.
I agree.
He got to go back and talking about his first kiss and shit like that.
You know what? Even though I think that he would have been way more of a challenge, you're right. His L actually would have been a respectable L.
It would have been
because it would have been way more of a challenge. It would have been way more of a challenge. Now looking back on it, he probably regrets that not going all the way through with it.
Because you got to think about it. you gotta think about it. J. Cole was supposed to drop his album, y'all know that, right? But he can't drop it because of the apology. You gotta understand, he probably had to redo his whole album because his whole album probably had all that I'm the greatest shit on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he can't do that now. Now he has to go into this. Let me talk about general shit, and let me focus on my swag of being a Dreamville, North Carolina type nigga. Like he has to do an album like that again. He can't do an album where he's pumping his chest. He can't do an album where he's basically saying that he's arrived. He can't do an album where he's trying to submit his legacy. None of that shit's gonna fly. Not now.
Not now. It got a couple more years. He can come back out with that shit.
Yeah, he got to wait a good 5 years.
He got to go back to making songs about like school and shit. Like he need to make a song like back in second grade where they pass out the Valentine's Day. Ain't nobody give one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and make it so good.
Left out.
Here's the thing: he has a pressure though. He has another added pressure because of how he pulled out. He's gonna have to make the songs so good that they're undeniable. That people are gonna be like, "Man, that shit is good. I could relate to that." That's what he's gonna have to do. Otherwise, no one's gonna be checking for him either.
Nah.
Kendrick Lamar did to Drake's career what you did to D Jefferson on that live, man, and what I did to Get Him Mike Boxing. Does that dude even have a channel?
I haven't heard about.
Okay, there you go.
Heard about him since 2018. He might still do, but I haven't heard about it.
Okay, so that's what this is the thing. When you go up against somebody that's not on your level, this is what you got to deal with. You got to understand there's a consequence that comes with that. Because when that person get at you, that person's gonna get at you. And I think what Kendrick did is Kendrick prepared every situation and every scenario for this moment in time. Mm-hmm. Because what you don't realize is when somebody knows that they're gonna go to war against someone, they've already prepared for that shit. And they've prepared for it over and over and over again. And they've simulated the war in their mind, how it's gonna play out. They not only simulated the victories. This is how you know when you're dealing against an effective person. That person has already in their mind simulated defeats. They've simulated victories. They've simulated how many times they've gone over it over and over again so that they can see how it's going to effectively play out when they actually go to war with you.
Yeah.
Because these people are smart enough to think like that.
That's why I'm saying Drake he's being led by his pride, his ego. Because if you listen to 616 in LA, he's telling you that he's prepared for this, and he even prayed to God about this.
Mm-hmm.
I pray to God about. I'm prepared for this, man. I'm prepared for the loss. Because even if I lose, he said, I discover myself when I take L's. I really prefer for this to go the wrong way. I don't care. I prepare for it. But here's another thing. See, back in the day when niggas beef, they used to actually listen to the other guy's whole album and understand their album and use some of their album against them. And so that's how niggas knew who was dissing who, even they didn't say their name.
You have to do that. When you're in a war and beef with someone, you have to listen to the disses because that's how you decipher what is true, what isn't true, and what you can attack.
And not just the diss, you got to listen to a nigga whole project. Drake's so arrogant, he don't even listen to these niggas' albums. If he would have listened to Kendrick's last album was going to therapy, dispelling his demons and getting himself together, preparing himself for war.
Yeah, but the kind of money that somebody like Drake has, if you're too lazy to do it, get nerds that are not lazy to do it and then come back and give you the information you fucking need so you can dissect.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
If you're a true general, come on, what else are you doing? Leave the little 16-year-old girls alone and you do it yourself, man. If you go to war,
to do it yourself.
You go to war, you do it yourself. You don't pay nobody.
You're supposed to. No, trust me. Me and you have the same mode.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. I'm just talking about somebody of his ilk because everybody don't have the same ilk. Let's be honest. Of our ilk, we want to have our hands in every cookie jar.
Because think about it. He got ghostwriters.
Of his ilk, he's not going to do that.
Think about it. He got ghostwriters, and his ghostwriters wrote a diss about Kendrick about a song he made on his last album, and that ain't even what they misinterpreted. They misinterpreted the whole song. So that goes to show you, even as ghostwriters aren't listening. This is why you can't pay people to do shit you supposed to do. Even as ghostwriters ain't listening. They said on Kendrick's last album, the reason why Kendrick is so preoccupied with trying to catch pedophiles is because he got molested. Kendrick never said he got molested.
Yeah.
He said his mother had PTSD from getting molested, so she always was overprotective over him, and that made him feel some type of way his whole life.
Yeah.
If he was paying attention, if he would have paid attention to that album, he would have known that this ain't that this is a battle that he can't win. Because this is what happens. He seen Kendrick was making all this personal music about his downfalls. He took that as a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
When niggas going through therapy, that's when they at their strongest. It's the niggas who aren't going through therapy, who never went, who could be triggered into doing stupid shit. A nigga who went through therapy and understand his emotions, his triggers, they're deadly in a battle.
Facts.
They're deadly at war because they understand you can't manipulate them. Their triggers that they used to have, they know how to manage their triggers now. They know what the therapy for that. Now the little things you saying, I'm quite sure 10 years ago they would have had this beef. It probably would have been a lot more closer because Kendrick had gone through therapy then. He probably would have got his feelings when he mentioned his girl. You know what I'm saying? This is a therapeutic nigga now. You mentioning my girl don't mean nothing. Not because I don't care about my girl, but I already went through all these triggers already. But you haven't dealt with none of this psychological shit. Let me go ahead and make this psychological for you. We'll meet the grounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a great point, man. Let's switch gears and let's talk about Ryan Garcia, man. So Ryan Garcia, his team, his attorneys and everything, they had collected hair, nail samples immediately after he had tested positive. And when they collected those samples all came back negative for the substance. Mm-hmm. And what they're basically saying was the natural supplements Ryan was taking leading up to the fight, they believe it was tested for possible contamination. So what they're trying to basically say is these tests had to be contaminated because how can his DNA, which comes from the same source of his piss and everything, how can that turn around and be negative, but yet they got a piss test that's saying everything is positive?
Right.
So what's your take on it? And he had that other PED that was different from Osterin, which Osterin is not a PED in of itself, but he had another PED in of itself that came back negative after they did the second test. So there has to be some contamination, because if the other one came back negative, but yet this Osterin one keeps coming back positive, and his hair sample and nail sample is negative, so we got two negatives and a positive. Something's not adding up here, man.
Yeah. You ready for me to jump in?
Yes, sir.
So provided that we're taking everything that they're saying as facts.
Mm-hmm.
If everything that's been reported is facts, that means that VADA either dropped the ball along the line or purposely contaminated and worked with Victor Conte to contaminate this man's sample. Because there's no way you can have something today in your urine that somebody check your hair. Your hair goes back years and it's not in your hair.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you can have it in your urine, but it don't be in your DNA in your hair. Because your hair is really the real test. It's the real test. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out there that had their locks for so long, they cut their locks off because their locks had so much stuff in their locks. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're eating bad, if they had trauma, all that, they'll cut their locks off and they'll restart them over to get rid of all that bad negative energy. Because your hair carries stuff, believe it or not. All the way, it's your DNA. So even down to what you ingest. So if you ingest a PED and it comes up in your urine, so they say, but then they check your hair and it's not in your hair, that means that's probably somebody else's urine. Or they drop something in there or something. Yep. That's what that means. But at the end of the day,
Ryan Garcia says, yeah, go ahead. Finish saying what you were saying.
At the end of the day, what this comes down to is the person who was supposed to win didn't win. They don't really want Ryan Garcia to be that guy because Ryan Garcia has proven to be unpredictable. And he's not unpredictable like a Mike Tyson. I was saying this random shit like I'll eat your children. He's unpredictable talking about like Illuminati secrets and stuff like that. They don't want him with his fan base having a platform as a champion. They're really trying to find a way to strip him. He didn't get the belt, but he has the bragging rights over. He made the belt not mean anything because Haney's still the champion, but the way Haney got whooped, he's not a real champion. And so, what they're doing two things. They're trying to invalidate his win, and they're also trying to pacify the Devin Haney fans and say, listen, Devin Haney didn't really lose. But if you watch that fight, Devin Haney didn't lose because of the PEDs. He lost because Garcia is a better boxer than him. Ryan Garcia outboxed Devin Haney. He ain't just going there and just get beat up the whole fight, then land a lucky punch because he's strong and knock him out. No, he outboxed him the whole fight.
Facts. Yep. Okay, so here's the thing. We know Ryan Garcia failed a drug test as per contamination or could be something in his system, et cetera, et cetera. But what Ryan Garcia said relating to Victor Conte, it gets brushed under the rug when everyone knows that this information is not mere conjecture, meaning it's not opinion, it's facts. And the facts are Victor Conte is the mastermind of Balco steroid scandal that 20 years ago tarnished the reputations and accomplishments of Barry Bonds, Marion Jones, and a dozen of other professional athletes. And also the fact that Conte, 73 years old, has helped create the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. For anyone who doesn't know what Voluntary Anti-Doping Association is, the acronyms for that is VADA, the nonprofit that conducted the 2 drug tests Garcia failed before his fight with Haney. And Conte has cited VADA as evidence he is now committed to working against drug cheats. So not only is he helped, he used the whole VADA as a way to say that I am legit. Now, I am no longer someone who's doing things illegally. Of course, VADA tried to come back out and deny or, deflect. People tend to do that when they get exposed on their end. But if this is true, which everything is appearing that it is true, why is somebody of that stature, if I'm Devin Haney as a boxer, knowing the history with this guy, why am I working with him? Apparently, it seems that Devin Haney doesn't care working with him because Devin Haney has, out of his own mouth, said this. I feel so much better. My energy level has been great. You won't regret it. I'm snack strong. That is what Devin Haney has on Victor Conte's snack supplement company's website. But Devin Haney, You didn't know that Victor Conte, who's connected to Vada, was also known for getting caught for cheating. You didn't know that he served a 4-month prison term for his role in the Balco scandal. You didn't know that Conte has carved out a home in boxing. You don't know that he has trained 28 champions. So you don't know this history about him. Or you choose to ignore the facts and basically say, you know what? I love to rehydrate and blow up in weight. I love to be a weight bully. This guy's going to be the perfect guy to help me rehydrate and assimilate to my weight. Because according to the California State Association Commission, Devin Haney has rehydrated over 18%, which is more than the 15% limit. Let's not talk about rehydrating just a little bit more. He's gone past the limit itself. To do that, that's an insane amount of weight you're blowing back up just so that you can absorb punches in the fight. I completely understand why Devin Haney's doing that. It's because he doesn't have punch resistance and he wants to be able to last throughout the fight. So if he can have as much weight on his body, then he eliminates himself from being stopped. Here's the thing. That is only going to work for so long until you meet the right boxer that can get to that chin and that can basically position the chin at the right time, a la Ryan Garcia. Mm-hmm. Ryan Garcia just happened to be the right boxer to get to the chin at the right time and position it to where he was exposing Devin Haney round after round. What fight fans can't get around, and they can choose to accept this or not, regardless of the parameters of drug this, test this, that, you can't get around. It's just like baseball with Barry Bonds. You can't get past the fact that Barry Bonds had to have supreme and superior hand-eye coordination for him to be having those batting averages that he has, on batting averages that he does every time he steps on the mound, because his hand and his eye coordination is that superior that he can be able to hit the ball when those pitches are coming, the curveball are coming, the fast pitches, the fastballs are coming. It's his skill set. It's his ability to be able to do that, regardless if he's on PEDs or not. Mm-hmm. What we're not going to sit here and do here is we're not going to sit here and act like Devin Haney did not make adjustments in the fight, because there were no adjustments. No. He sat there and got hit with the same punch over and over again. So no changes that. No performance enhancement drug changes the fact that he basically got outboxed. And no PEDs changed the fact that he didn't have ring generalship in that fight. He wasn't controlling the pace of the fight. The pace of the fight was being controlled. So I don't want to hear this nonsense of people seeing that for 12 rounds and acting like that wasn't something that took place in the damn fight.
Man, y'all make sure y'all donate to motivate. I only got one more point to make about this. Mm-hmm. I knew it was something fishy even before I even looked into what the A sample was, B sample, the hair follicles. I knew something fishy about this fight when the New York State Athletic Commission president resigned right after the fight. That's the person that works with Nevada and works with the boxers to make sure everything is good. Right. Why would they resign before this is figured out?
Exactly.
That happened on their watch. How you resigning?
White people do that shit all the time. They resign so that they can, a lot of white people in high positions, they resign so that they can absolve themselves from the judgment or from the consequences that's coming before them. They do that. That resignation is a way to basically shift the blame somewhere else so they don't have to deal with the consequences. And then if you notice, a lot of people that do those things when they resign, they go and get a job somewhere else. And then they go do that whole disaster somewhere else all over again. But you always see it's always these top white people in these upper positions that are always doing shit like this, man. They'll resign real quick. And then once they resign, it's like, okay, they already saw the shit was getting ready to hit the fan, and they didn't want no parts of that shit. That was just like the referee from the Mayweather fight. Remember with the draw with Canelo? That motherfucker resigned quick. Didn't want the blowback.
The problem with boxing is boxing has too many commissions, and it needs to be one universal commission. The reason why I'm saying that is when you look at it, right? There's no way one commission uses VADA, one commission uses USDA, one commission they'll use neither. They just do their own testing. It should be one universal testing, one universal commission. The reason why I'm saying that is this right here. How do you have a guy who's been prosecuted and did federal time for cheating? How do you have that guy be a founder of a drug testing facility?
Exactly.
Those are conflict of interest. He could never be trusted in that capacity.
He should never be respected in that realm to even for you to even look his way as someone that's a respectable person or a marquee person in that realm of whatever. I mean, that's just the way it works.
The reason why that is because boxing is a dirty sport and they don't care about cheating until somebody gets hurt, man.
Exactly.
Then they want to, or if it's a black person or a black person get caught, it's over with.
Because notice Victor Conte is not credible in any other sport. You don't hear him and his snack being affiliated with any other forms of athletes, right?
No.
But boxers. There's a reason for
that. And one more person. But they're probably going to wait till he retires to blow him up. LeBron James.
Of course.
Because you know he's on PEDs like a motherfucker.
Well, they're already starting to go against him by saying the longer he's waiting, you could tell it's already starting. Because when you have the staunch guys that are known for being those guys that go against him, when that starts to happen, that changes everything. Because
they're trying to help him out.
You're seeing that Kendrick Perkins was actually they're not. They're just beginning his demise. They're beginning his demise.
They're trying to help him out because they're trying to push him out of the league now. If LeBron James keep playing in the league, it's going to get to the point where everybody's going to say he's on PEDs. It's going to be it's going to be a topic that you can't ignore. 45, 46, 47 years old, still dunking on niggas. They're going to be like, nah, he on PEDs. They trying to help him.
I hear what you're saying when you say they're trying to help him out. Okay, go ahead.
They're trying to help him out, pushing him out of the league. They're not trying to. They're no longer giving him credit he don't deserve anymore. They're holding him accountable now. But that's what they should have been doing. But by pushing him out the league, they're trying to help. Like, bro, go now. If he leaves now, there's no big scandal. He can leave before the big scandal comes out. Yeah, but if he stays 3-4 more years, he's not gonna be able to beat the allegations, man.
I see what you're saying.
Because the nigga's still dunking, he's still touching the top of the backboard and shit.
I see what you're saying, and in hindsight, it looks like that is the case. But if I'm being honest, bro, I don't think they're trying to help him out. I don't think the media, to me, I think they have their meetings of the minds where they tell themselves, hey, when it's time for us to root for you, we're gonna root for you. And when it's time for us to not root for you, we're not going to root for you. Now, if you figure it out and you come to a 2+2 moment and you realize you need to get yourself out before the shit hits the fan, then that's on you. But I don't think they're like trying to help him out. I think they've been given orders. All of the talking heads have been given orders by the executives behind closed doors. Hey, it's time to do away with this dude. He needs to go. Now, if he figures it out that we're helping him to get him to go, by us talking bad about him, then he'll figure it out. But I think LeBron, because he's too egotistical, he has that drink syndrome. He's too prideful. He's not gonna listen to the early warnings that's being spewed out. He's gonna sit there and hit back of his mind and be like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I've gotten to a certain level, so I'm gonna leave on my terms. I'm gonna leave when my son gets into the league." No, this is why Kendrick Perkins will work for Kendrick Perkins to be a staunch LeBron supporter, and then all of a sudden to be a staunch LeBron criticizer and to say now my guy is Anthony Edwards. You know what that tells me? That tells me he's not doing LeBron any favors. You know what that tells me? That tells me somebody in his boss, an executive, was like, hey, it's time to get against this guy and you better get on board. And that's what you see him doing.
Yeah,
He's
I guess
getting on board with that shit.
I guess because the way I see the world is,
Mm-hmm.
when 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 you say something, it could mean more than one thing. And if
That's
and
true.
if you're interpreting things the right way, I won't say the right way, but if you're interpreting things at a certain
Mm-hmm.
level, they may be telling you your time is done. You can no longer do this. You can no longer do that. But if you know you've been
Mm-hmm.
on PEDs and
Mm-hmm.
you know that it really doesn't look plausible for you to still be performing at that level, they're giving
Mm-hmm.
you an out.
Yeah.
Whether they want to or not, they're helping you. They're giving you an out by saying the sun is setting on your day. You could just
Mm-hmm.
retire. Nobody gonna say nothing.
Oh, I'm not saying that my
Yeah,
point is any more right than yours or your point is any
yeah.
more right than mine. I think we're just seeing it in two different ways. But the thing about it is, like you said, it could be seen, it could be behind the scenes, it could be done in so many different ways that we don't know. I'm just giving my side of it, and you're giving your side of it of how it's happening. You believe that because they're doing that, that's them giving him an out, and you could
But
very well be right.
you gotta understand one thing.
I'm believing in my mind that the media just don't really give a fuck like that, and they're just like, okay, we're saying this. If you figure out that this is the out, then that's the out. But if you don't figure it out, then it is what it is. Because Allen Iverson told him something about the media that LeBron James didn't heed Allen Iverson's warning. You know what AI told him? When they love you, they love you. When they hate you, and you better know when the time comes for both. So he
right.
was helping him out. LeBron didn't pay attention to that shit. Now, if LeBron didn't pay attention to the warning, I would think Allen Iverson is a subject matter expert at knowing that, because both of those things happened to him, and they happened to him at such an extreme. I don't think any basketball player has had the extreme that Allen Iverson had with that, the 180 with that, the loving of the loving and the hating of the hating. So if anyone knows that, it's him, and he warned LeBron James. You know what LeBron James did? He failed to accept the warning, man. So
Me
some
personally,
people, you can't help them.
I believe the talking heads are nothing but the talking heads. And if you're on ESPN, it's because your opinion is bought for. If your opinion
Exactly.
is not if your opinion not paid for it, they get rid of you. So
Exactly.
if you're on ESPN at this point, they can tell you whatever. I believe the people that's telling these people whatever are protecting interests, because it makes Nike look bad. If LeBron James is coming out, he was cheating the whole time. You know who's
Mhm.
going to take a hit? Nike takes a hit.
I agree with that. That I agree with, because they're protecting bottom line. They're protecting
Right.
money. I agree with
So
that part.
Kendrick
But I
Perkins,
don't really think they give a fuck about LeBron like that.
Kendrick Perkins might not know. Yeah, but helping Nike is helping LeBron. It's helping his legacy.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Kendrick
helping the
Perkins,
money.
so Kendrick Perkins might not know why he has to say this now. But the people
Yeah.
that's writing his script, they know we got to push this motherfucker out the league, because it's going to
Exactly.
come to a point where people are going to realize, why isn't he not declining the way he's supposed to? LeBron James, the reason why LeBron James never was that good is because he's not as athletic as he used to be. That's why he's declining. But his body isn't failing like it's supposed to. He's just
Exactly.
declining because he never was really that good. And now
You
that
know why he's declining? You know why he's
yeah,
declining? Because God is undefeated. I don't care how many PEDs you take. When it's time for God to give your body that natural decline, it is going to happen whether you like it or not. You can do PEDs all you want. You can do this, because guess what? He's taking all these PEDs all you want, but guess what? The athleticism is still declining at a rapid rate. The only
right.
thing that's not declining is
But
his durability. His
you're not
durability is there, and that's what the PEDs is helping.
you're
But
not
he ain't
understanding.
jumping the same.
Nah, but he's still too athletic for a 40-year-old person.
He ain't jumping the same, bro. He's not. I see him. He be huffing
Nah,
and
but he's
puffing.
too
He
athletic
be
for
tired.
he gets
He
tired.
just could laugh in the game.
He's too athletic for a 40-year-old person though.
Yeah, the
He's more
PEDs is
athletic
helping
than
him
Duke.
regardless.
He's more athletic than Duke Doncic. He's more athletic than all these guys in their prime down there. He ain't more
Because he's
athletic
on
than the young
PEDs.
guys. Yeah,
Because he's on PEDs, and you're right about that. The
yeah.
PEDs is giving him an added advantage. But what I'm saying when I say God is undefeated, there's still elements of his physicality that the PEDs can't help. And one of
Yeah,
them that the PEDs can't help, he can't jump high like that no more. Ain't no PED gonna make him be able to jump like he did when he was in his 20s. I'm sorry. he gonna have that durability. He gonna be able to last 48 minutes and all that shit, but he ain't gonna be able to jump way above the rim. No PED is gonna change that.
And that's the thing though, because at his age, he should be the guy at the end of the bitch coaching and helping people coach like Juwan Howard. He's not supposed to be still doing all those minutes and shit like that. So they're trying to push him out the league. He needs to go with the push. He needs to go with the push. Allow them to push him out the league.
But I'm loving this push right now because this push is it's such a push of vitriol, and his pride and his ego is gonna allow this push to be way worse than what it is, because of the fact that he wants to stay around and he thinks he has power. And this is the thing with power, right? Power has a life shell. And anyone that has had power, they have a life shell of power. There's a time for you to have your power, and there's a time for your power to be either transferred to somebody else,
right,
or for your power to be distributed somewhere else. We want to know why? Because you don't live on this earth forever. You got a time to go. Now, whether people believe in reincarnation or not and things of that nature, and we've had our conversations on that. Maybe we could talk about it live on that, but I'm talking about the current state of who you are as an individual, right?
Right.
That's not going to last forever. So the power that you have, it has to be redistributed somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So with knowing that, we know that there's a life shell with that. There's a shelf life. So having a shelf life, eventually you're going to have to come to terms that, hey, you got to be smart enough. See, Floyd was smart enough to say, you know what? I can't do it no more, man. So let me just go to the exhibition route. You have to be smart enough to know when you can't, and then take wise counsel, because his father came on. I remember his father came on after the Andre Berto and told his son, hey, I don't want you fighting professionally no more. You don't got it that no more. And he heeded the advice. But imagine if he didn't. Imagine if he didn't. It would have been a problem for him.
He'd be getting beat up right now by people.
Exactly.
He was smoked in his prime. They'll be whooping him.
Exactly. Yep. Which would have hurt his legacy. And everybody would have been ready to jump on him. You know what they would have been focusing more on? Oh, look at Floyd, because all these people hate Floyd. Look, Floyd got beat as opposed to everything he did when he was great. They wouldn't focus on anything that he was great. You think Roy Jones Jr. was a laughing stock? They would have made Floyd the biggest laughing stock ever. But he got out at the right fucking time.
And now all they can do is hate right now.
LeBron, on the other hand, is 25 years in. Could you want to go another 5 years? So you're only able to get 4 rings in 20. That average don't look good, dude. 4 rings in 25 years.
You know what?
4 out of 21 don't look good right now.
You know what? I've been one of those guys who've been one of LeBron James out of the league forever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say. Hey.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Stay your ass in there. You want to be hard-headed? Stay your ass in there. Because what's going to happen is PED scandal will come down the line. That's not going to happen. Even if they don't pick it up, even if Congress don't pick it up, if everybody starts saying it, because the black community is all about what we believe as a people.
That's true.
And if barbershop start talking about, man, that nigga Brown on steroids. That's all need to be said to ruin your.
We actually influence the culture. So if we tell people this is how the culture needs to move, then it's gonna move in that direction.
It's gonna move that way.
I mean, it's obvious, because look at how we by ourselves. It ain't the white media, ain't nothing like, nobody wants to give us credit for it, but we by ourselves made Kendrick Lamar unseat Drake because we believe he won the battle.
Right.
And that's what people have to understand. We influence culture, no matter what they say.
Right.
We said he got the W. Everybody else has to say he has the W.
Yeah, W. You know what I'm saying? Vibe magazine and Rolling Stone talk about it. Kendrick Lamar is victorious. They had to wait on what the black people said.
Yeah, because they know the culture has to say it. And once the culture said it, that was it. It was like I was talking to this dude the other day when he was telling me, do you feel, because he was mentioning Kanye West and things of that nature. How did you feel about Kanye West coming out saying that you guys are the real Hebrews and stuff like that? And he was I'm just trying to be an inquiring mind. I said, and he was trying to put me on the spot, I guess, to say I'm at a pizza place in front of a whole bunch of people that look the opposite of me. I'm sure a bunch of these motherfuckers are what we call placeholders.
Who is this dude?
Placeholders in
Why
our
is he a
land.
black dude like you?
No, he's not black like me. But to me,
You could have easily said this ain't the time and place to have that conversation.
no, I didn't give it was just one of them days I just didn't give a fuck. You know,
But
you just don't give a fuck.
But why would you be around a lot of white people? You had a business meeting?
No, I was at a pizza place. I just wanted to go eat pizza there because
a random nigga just asked you that.
Random dude. I was sitting at the bar. Random dude asked me that, and I was craving that good ass pizza.
God was testing you. God was testing you.
Yeah, he was, and I passed the test because guess what? I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck.
I thought you was at a business meeting. I thought you was at a business meeting. At a business meeting, that's not the time and place for that.
No,
it was just a random thing.
God was testing. No, it wasn't one of them situations where it was going to affect money or anything like that. If that was the case, I would have course my words. But it's a situation where it was leisure time, and he was asking me questions. He was like, "So, what do you think of Kanye West?" This is what I told him. I said, anytime someone can articulate their words effectively, you have to question if that person who has the ability to put sound sentences together, if they are really saying this person is crazy. Because people that are really crazy as they say that they are, these people are so far gone in their head, and we've seen them at the same asylum. They're so far gone in their head, they're either stuttering or they're not even putting their words together. But someone could sit down with you, have a full-blown conversation, whether they're drinking or not. This person can basically tell you a whole bunch of things, and then on top of that, counter what you're saying and then correct you, which is what a Kanye West does, which is what a Cat Williams does. Right. Is that person really crazy? Right. And then he even started like questioning himself, and then he said, "So what do you think?" And then that's where the test came. He was like, "So what do you think about him saying that you guys are the real Hebrews?"
That's what he want to say the whole time.
Yeah. I knew the test was coming because he then said that. And I said, well, that's why I started growing my locks, because I came into the realization that I'm Hebrew. So I want to live as close to what my ancestors lived like. I want to feel that whole element. And I know growing my hair out is basically my way of opening my antennas to access myself with God. It just gives me a higher vibrational state. But yes, we are the chosen people. And I said it loud. I didn't give a fuck. I said we are the chosen people. And I know there was like 3 placeholders that were there. I call them placeholders now. That's my nickname for them. They turn around and look at me weird with a little sis and a little, and I just said, well, here's the thing. You have to understand the history behind it. When you hear somebody say they're Ashkenaz Jews and all of that, Ashkenaz is basically a place. It's an actual place that's not even in Israel. It's from Germany. Like you got to start tracing these places in the old history of how the map works out. If you go and trace these places in the old map, you'll see that these were people that migrated from these places. They migrated from Turkey, they migrated from Germany, they migrated from all these places. And you have to understand, the Roman Empire exiled and basically ran us out of our own island. Right. And now they need to occupy the island with people that look like them. Right. Because when you look at them, what do they look like? So they get people that look like them and put these people, i.e. placeholders. That's what I said the term. And I know they was getting mad when I kept using that word, but they took these placeholders, put them in that island, and what ends up happening? Those placeholders migrate to the island, and then they assimilate to the way things operate in that island, in that land. So now they start speaking that language through generations of generations. Right. They start having that form of thought process, that form of observance, that form of this and that. And then with time, because the ones that were exiled are no longer there, those folks are forgotten. Their identity is either stripped, or their identity is a crisis down the generations of generations. And then those people end up saying, hey, because we've been there for so long, it's ours. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's yours. And then
Right.
he was like, hmm. And I said, that's just like Christopher Columbus and Ponce de Leon and them. When these colonizers were basically going all around and then they end up landing in the Americas. Was the Americas originally for them?
Right. Or somebody
But
else's
they
shit.
end up occupying the place. And when they occupy the place and colonize it, what ends up happening generation after generation after generation? Now people start saying this is ours,
Right.
but not realizing the original people that were there, it wasn't their shit.
Well,
And he was like, "You're
well,
right."
it starts off. This land is your land. Then it says
Exactly.
this land is our land. And then at the end, this land is my land.
I'm about to say something. I'm about to say something. You're gonna be like, "Damn, I didn't think." He was like, "Damn, you actually said that to him." This is what I said to him. And then when I said that, it made the other ones turn back around and didn't even look my way. I said, "Do you understand that these so-called colonizers, they have more identity crisis than I do, because they're going to places that's not even originally from where they're from. If they would have just stayed where they were from, they would just continue to adopt their way of thinking and their way of doing things. They're leaving their way of thinking and their way of doing things, and they're basically culture vultures. They're the biggest ones. They're coming into a different culture, vulturing the culture up, and then they strip themselves. See, we were forced to
Right.
be stripped of
Strip.
our identity, and it was a forcing with us. Them, they self-inflicted the identity crisis upon themselves. So
To be
I'm
somebody else.
I'm this is what I said. I'm arguing on the mere fact that someone like you actually has more identity crisis than someone like me. And when I said that, man, there was like a silent pause. And then he said, "You know what? No one ever said that to me like that." And when you said that, it hit my spirit in a way to where, you know what, I've been asking myself this, that, all of us as white people, we do have identity crisis because we don't know where we're from, because we keep going to different places, taking these places up when we should have just stayed where we were at. I said
Right.
that's the problem with people
Right.
when they always want to leave where they go from, leave from their origination, and go to situations that's not their origination. You have to look at the fact that you're worse off than someone like me that was actually forced away from my origination. And he was like, "Yeah, we got to look at this thing differently." So I said, someone like me, I'm not as bad as someone like you because my resilience is telling me. You see, I said, look at the times now. My resiliency showed me so many years later, because I am one of God's chosen people. My resiliency opened my eyes to the facts that, guess what? I am one of these people, because eventually it was going to happen that I was going to awaken. But you, on the other hand, you're never going to be awakened. You're actually going to dig yourself in a deeper and deeper hole of an identity crisis, because you're going to somewhere that's away from your origination by your own doing. It's not like you forced it upon yourself. All because what? You didn't like the way the laws were at the time, so you had to leave there to go somewhere else. That's not slavery. That's just a difference of opinion. See, people
Right.
like to sit here and say these people were enslaved. No, the fuck they weren't. They
Right.
just didn't like the difference of opinion of how the law was set up for them, and they wanted to go somewhere else and colonize it. Whereas
Right.
with us, it wasn't that. Us, we were stripped. Us, we were forced. And he's like, man, I learned so much in just having this soliloquy with you than any book that I've ever read, blah, 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 blah. So then he said, you know what? Then I'm going to have to stop saying that what Kanye West said was crazy. I said, if that's what God sent me here to do, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I was circling around 100 times trying to find a place to eat, and I just happened to stop here. So I believe God just circled me here just to tell you this. And if you felt that you got enlightened by it, I'm more happier. I'm all the more happier that you were. And then when I got up to go use the bathroom, the three that was hissing, I think one of them said something under their breath. Oh, you're just speaking from your experience or whatever. And then I said, no, speak up, because I couldn't hear you. And he was like, oh no, you're speaking from your experience, because I didn't like the term that you used, calling us placeholders. I said, by the way, I gotta go pee, placeholder. And I just went and
Right.
peed.
Right. What you talking about? You don't like the
Fuck out
term?
of here, man. And
What?
when I came back, they were gone.
Yeah, yeah. He tried to get that off before he left.
Yeah.
He tried. They
And I
always try
said,
to get stuff
by the
off.
way, I gotta go pee placeholder.
Yeah,
That shit was funny, man.
whenever they try to judge what type of black person you are, they always ask you your opinion of a opinionated black man. And
Exactly.
because the sellout is gonna say, I don't like him. I don't.
Yep.
I mean, I don't like Deion Sanders, man. I don't like
Yep.
Floyd Mayweather. I don't like Kanye West. But a stand up, even if you don't like them because they're so braggadocious, as a black man, as a Hebrew, you're not gonna tear down that man in front of
No.
a white man.
No.
You're not gonna do that. But they
You gonna beat
know
them up.
if they can get you to do that, they know who they dealing with. Cause they wanted to. He asked you that because they wanted to see if they could get comfortable and talk crazy about black people around you. That's what they want to see. So they ask you. That's a filler question. That's a
Yeah.
filler
Only
question.
the Uncle Tom ones are gonna do that. And the Uncle
Yeah.
Tom ones, we give them the term Uncle Tom now. But the Uncle Tom ones are really old school terms, Sadducees and Pharisees. That's what they were. Because when you think of Sadducees and Pharisees, that's what they were.
That's what they
Uncle
were.
Tom and the Sadducees and Pharisees they're not really any different. They're the same.
They're the same thing. Yeah.
Because they're hypocritical in how they move.
Yeah.
They're governed by hypocrisy.
Everything they do is, but it's hypocrisy because it's out of fear.
Exactly.
They govern out of fear of the white man.
Yep.
They govern. The Romans were white men who were controlling
Exactly.
Israel.
They were governing off the fear of the Roman Empire. Exactly.
So they was like, man, we got to get rid of Jesus because if we'll get rid of him, they gonna crack down on us because he walking around talking about. He walking around talking about he got a connection with God.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If we supposed to, back then they worship. Those people Caesar had people worshiping him, but that was his downfall. So you know what I mean? So yeah.
And that's why they openly through their hypocrisy test Jesus when they said, so is Caesar worth his due? And they thought it was a trap question. And Jesus, or Yahweh, as we know him, said, give unto Caesar what Caesar is due, give unto God what God is due. Like they thought they was gonna trap him.
Right, like basically, y'all know the law, pay y'all taxes.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man. Like, listen.
They thought he was gonna say F Caesar and just give it to God. That's what they thought. So they could try to get him right then and there, stone him right then and there, or crucify him right then and there. But that they didn't understand that. Nah, you think you trapping. When you think you trap, that's when you get in the trap. Basically, they pulled the Drake, and then they got Kendrick. Right. Nowadays, that's what we gonna always say when we go back to the rap battle. You know how in football there's iconic phrases where they say, damn, I mossed you. Yeah. Oh, see, you said that at the same time too. Yeah. I straight mossed you. Well, guess what? In entertainment now, in music, they're gonna say now from here on out, he straight pulled a Drake and I straight Kendrick him. That's what they're gonna be saying from here on out. Those phrases are gonna exist. Or anytime somebody say that they're a Drake, they're gonna be like, man, you could be Drake all you want. I'm a Kendrick you. Right. That's what it's gonna be now. It's synonymized. And this is why sometimes guys have to understand your pride and ego can define your legacy. Because now, look, Drake got artist of the decade. Drake got hits after hits after hits. But you know what he's gonna be defined as now? The guy that lost to Kendrick Lamar. Right. But did you have to be defined that way?
Right, and not just lost, but because there's things that are bigger implications than just a rap battle. Yep. He's gonna be the guy that in his loss to Kendrick Lamar that was exposed for dealing with underage women.
Yep.
And being a deadbeat, because there's other little kids out here by women he dealt with that look just like him. That make the son he do claim don't even look like him.
Yeah, that is honest. I don't understand that. Even the hair, like there's nothing there that gives. Because when someone is your kid, there's something in the genetic code. I'm sure if I see your daughter, I will be able to tell. Boom, that's your child. There has to be something in the genetic code line that tells you. But I don't see it, man.
Nah, Drake has a son that looks just like him. That he don't claim. But he don't claim him because the son look black, like a black man. because he had it with a. But he claims the other little boy because he look white.
Nah.
Because he's white. I wouldn't be surprised if that kid ain't even his.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
That kid don't like it. No
girl just making money off his ass. Because at that level, you're supposed to be taking DNA tests, man. I mean, even at our levels or even lesser levels, you're supposed to take the DNA test.
He probably did take DNA test. They probably told him he finna raise somebody else's kids like they did Michael Jackson.
And he didn't give a fuck.
Those kids ain't Michael Jackson kids. Michael Jackson is a black man. How he ended up looking is not how he really looks.
Exactly.
Michael Jackson is nothing but a nigga. He got 2 black mother and father. His kids never supposed to look like them white boys, them white kids.
Nah.
Or somebody else's kids.
They're supposed to come out looking like a semblance of what he was before the surgeries and everything.
Right.
Facial features and all.
They forced that man to raise somebody else's children, man.
Yep.
I told my auntie that shit. She's like, how you know? I was like, man, listen. Y'all, because I got an uncle who produced 2 white girls, but he's a black man, but he's mixed. My granddaddy's black, my grandmother's white. So if he have a kid with a Mexican who got European in their blood, they could make a white looking kid. Yeah. Because he's mixed. He got white in him, and she got white in her. They could do that together. Yeah. But if he had 2, I said, if he had 2 black parents, he wouldn't be able to do that. Because it wouldn't be in his genes. You know what I'm saying? And Michael Jackson had 2 black parents. He can't, it's not gonna happen. His kids don't look black at all. And they doing Drake the same way. And that's another humiliation ritual too. Making you raise somebody else's kid.
Yeah, in rare instances that is supposed to be the case. But the bottom line is it doesn't always get followed and it doesn't always get observed in that fashion. And unfortunately, that's what we run into, man. So a lot of people are just raising a lot of kids that don't even belong to them, man. That's crazy. Unbeknownst to them, or if they know and they probably just don't give a fuck. Not even celebrity level, just a lot of dudes are doing that shit, man. Whether they know or they don't know.
Nah, but Drake knows. But you know why they do that? They do that so when you die, your legacy go to somebody else and not your family.
That makes sense.
Think about it. Drake could claim everybody but his real children who look like him. He got a couple of children out there. He got to claim somebody else's kid because when he died, his legacy gonna go to somebody else's kid, man. It's gonna go to a white person.
That's crazy.
That shit crazy. As soon as I get off this live, I'm about to drop that video.
So basically, what you're saying is he's being forced to do that by people more powerful than him. Yep. So, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a crazy point that you brought up.
These people, they sign their life away, man.
Yeah,
they sign their life away. That's why I never said I never wanted to have a global influence, because that's when they come in and they basically say. That's when they basically you go to the mountain, you get approached by the devil to sign your life away. You know what I'm saying? If you stand tall, you're gonna lose it all. So what's the point of getting all that just to lose it?
Yeah,
you know that's true. If you don't stand tall, you're gonna lose your soul.
Yep. Either way, there's gonna be a loss. But guess what?
Either way, there's gonna be a loss.
But the loss of you losing it all, at least you gain the most powerful thing, your soul, in the process. Yeah. And if you're smart, because you're protected by God, if you're smart, God's going to ensure that you retain certain things. He's not going to allow you to be affiliated and keep retainership of the bullshit, but he's going to allow you to retain the things that's going to keep you sustainable. Because what people don't understand is God never created man to be so plentiful to the level to where they just have everything. He created them to be able to be, what's that word? You always say that word, it's a C word. Content. You always say it again.
Content.
There you go.
Yeah.
To be content. That's one of your favorite words, boy. Be content.
Because most people don't understand content, because content is misused. content is used with a negative connotation, saying they use content like settling, but content don't mean settling. Content
Yep.
actually means to be happy with what you have.
There you
I'm
go.
paraphrasing right now, but it
Yep.
actually means to be happy with what you have, no matter
Yep.
what God gives you, to be happy with it. That's
Yep.
how you. And I believe that's the reason why I'm blessed right now, because when I do go through negative things, I never blame God. I never say, God, why is this happening?
You look at what you did wrong in the position and the picture.
Yeah,
That's what I do. I reflect
yeah.
on what the fuck did I do wrong for this
I never,
shit to
I
fall out?
never question.
And
I never.
then here's the thing: when you realize that you didn't do anything wrong, there's times where those negative things is just because of happenstance. It was meant for you to have to go through that, and maybe there's a learning
Right,
experience that you have to go through
right,
with that. It's not always you did something wrong. It's just to build your character at
right.
times.
Or maybe you didn't do anything to deserve that in this lifetime.
Exactly.
But you don't know what type of fool you was the last time you was around. You know what I mean? You don't know what type of shit you got into the last time you was in. You know what I'm saying? So I just be taking it on the chin, and I like and I've been more blessed than I've been cursed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Likewise, likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit it on the point. And I'm glad you broke down the definition of content because people needed to hear that.
It's a paraphrasing. It's not a direct definition, but um
It was beautifully paraphrased because people needed to hear that. Because people think that that means you have to settle. You're not settling for shit, man. You just have to be happy, man, with the blessings you
right.
get.
So
Because
here it goes right here.
the problem with people is they're not happy with what they get.
So here it goes right here. As a noun, it's in a state of peaceful happiness. As a
Mm,
verb, it means to satisfy, and as as an adjective, it's in a state of peaceful happiness. As a verb, it means to satisfy. As a noun, it means a state of satisfaction.
mm,
So to be content means to be satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
I was
Thank you for
paraphrasing
that.
the way I said it, but yeah.
Thank you for that breakdown, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say?
Not at all, man. This has been another one for the books.
Definitely, man. I'm all tapped out myself. I think we gave these people a show, even though this is the problem with us Hebrews, man. One thing we got an issue with: we are just hard fucking headed, man. You kept telling them press 3 to agree. The motherfuckers they want to press the 3, so it is what it is, man.
I,
Appreciate all everyone
and,
that tuned in and chimed in. Is there anything else you want to say before I go?
yeah, when it comes to that, a lot of people they don't realize that the way we've been groomed in this white man society is we believe it or not, they don't really want to see us blow up, but they're
Mm,
entertained. So
yeah.
they know what it takes for us to blow up. They know what it
Mm,
takes because they see other people do it, but they want to be entertained, but they don't want to be the reason why you blow up. But they will
yeah.
say, man, we can't wait for you to blow up, man. We can't, but they'll withhold the things that's gonna make you blow up,
Yeah.
i.e., liking, um,
Yep.
subscribing,
Mm,
or commenting.
mm,
If you're thinking something, just comment. Why would they not comment?
facts.
And I'm telling them to. That means they don't necessarily want to do what it's going to take. They don't
Exactly.
want to. They want you to. They want you to spend the time talking about things, but they don't want to. They ain't gonna share your shit. They ain't
Facts.
gonna share your shit until they hear a bigger platform talk about you. Now,
Yep.
since it's gonna make them look like they in the no, now they're gonna do it. But
Yep.
they won't be the people to preemptively do it because it's the right thing to do. Because look,
Facts.
that so whether you like it or not, most black people do not want to see you succeed, no matter what they say.
Facts. But here's the thing: when God has His hands on you, like you've always said, man, no one can stop you, bro. So they can
Yep.
do that all they want. When your time comes, it's gonna come, and it's gonna
Fact.
come like a flurry. It's gonna come like a flurry. It's gonna come like a surge. It's gonna come like a whirlwind. So I always have the hope and steadfastness in that, man, and knowing that when the time is, that's when the time's gonna be, and regardless of anyone's holding back or anyone's this or anyone's that, they can't stop what they can't stop, man. Just like they couldn't stop the L that Drake faced from Kendrick. They couldn't stop that. That was bound to happen, and it happened.
Yep.
All right, it's been real. It's been easy. Peace.
Peace.